gears are right at the top.
You've got to be careful if you go that way.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? I'll have to try and keep it on the edge, but it's going to be coming in, isn't it?
I think if you just do it like that.
Yeah.
The easiest way for you.
Yeah.
Right, that's all. Superbowl.
And you set the other one?
I think you should be alright. You need to hold it now, kid, Joe. There's a screw on it. Yeah, screw there, just the top of the head.
Whoa, stop! It's an ever-present danger, that. I think we should give them helmets.
Not last year, the year before, Tatty Marshall, you know.
No, but I heard one of them fell over, didn't it?
Well, he fell over, then he banged his head on it. But it wasn't nothing like this. It was on a stand at the side.
Oh, right.
And the whole thing fell over.
I did hear about that, yeah.
Yeah.
We try not to have things fall out.
He's the Commonwealth.
What does he need to do, Joe?
Pallets aren't working.
Might have to wait till there's a break now because they're kind of warming up.
So wait till he's chucked his last ball.
Yeah.
And then they've got a bit, as soon as he's walking down it, it's only 2 seconds.
Alright, yeah.
Right. I've got my chair. Are you going to do it?
Hey, Pop.
Is it hot food?
Yeah. Beef, chips, cheese pie.
Pie, steak pie.
I don't know if there's any left. Video. Sorry.
Right, Pat.
Beef or not?
Get up.
Keep the working out, Joe. It's not doing all. No.
Well.
Sorry,
Yes.
okay.
This one?
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. Oh, a few more today, that's nice, isn't it?
See what it is?
So, some new Christmas decorations. Some themes in the last 2 days from Crown Greeners. I've only got, well, I've got 2 requests, ladies and gentlemen. Two reasonably serious requests. One is, you know, just remember when they're on the mat, that's when they're thinking about the shot they're going to play. So I would ask that we don't sort of.
After that, it's yours.
Hang on, let me just move it.
Remember I had this trouble.
Oh, one more thing.
I'm just going to have to be a bit careful.
There was one I heard come out yesterday. So all I'm going to say is, can we keep the comments clean?
That's just about right, isn't it? Because by the time it gets
Because the
onto
one I
that,
heard
it's
yesterday
pegging
will
in into
fill
it.
Sky's network up with
Does that feel right?
complaints.
Is left,
You happy with that one?
Yeah.
They won't be used to it. You may on the Crown Green element,
No, right.
but
Left.
just, you know, just seriously. I aren't saying it in here. No, I'm not. So just keep them clean, that's all. But no, you can't. I've got microphones all the way around here. No. Apart from that, I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 days, so I really hope you have. You know, and
I have my ramp.
as you can see now, cameras all over the place.
Just so it takes that
So if you're sitting with the wrong person, I'd move now.
speed.
Yeah, I really would. But I'm still trying to get to grips with one or two of the things. I still can't handle this wheelbarrow. Can one of you explain wheelbarrow to me?
Not letting you steer on to me.
No, there were several of you shouting wheelbarrow yesterday. Hmm? Yeah.
That must be Yorkshire saying that.
I think the other one I heard was as tight as a submarine's door. Now, how do you know how tight a submarine's door is? That's watertight. Why do you want a watertight door? I've seen you play crown when you're under 2 foot of bloody water. And you've got a term for that, haven't you? You've got a term for that when you're trying to get the ball nearly 50 yards down the green. You can go skipping when you can get the ball to go over the pole.
Chucking.
Chucking. Eh?
Trunching.
I only asked for one term, I've got 2 bloody million of them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you know, welcome to the Just Retirement Super Bowl 2014. So, shall we bring on your players, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I think we've got a great lineup here today. So, let's give a massive welcome. He is the reigning champion and record 5 times holder of the Waterloo. It is the Silver Fox, Gary Ellis. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, come all the way from Scotland. He is just finished at the Commonwealth Games and he's come back with a Commonwealth gold for the singles, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a massive welcome, Darren Burnett.
Crown Green game up against Darren Burnett, and you can't argue with his credibility. World champion 2014 and Commonwealth Games gold medalist in the singles in Glasgow for Scotland. It's going to be a fascinating game. 2 people very much at the pinnacle of the flat and the crown. Advantage to Darren, of course, but that doesn't mean that Gary isn't going to make life somewhat difficult. In the commentary box with me today, Callum Raitt, who is looking forward to getting out and getting a bit of banter with the crowd, but we have managed to capture him for a bit of commentary in this match. So, good luck, Callum. I know you're going to enjoy it.
Yes, can't wait, David. Should be a great game. 2 of the top lads in there.
And we can hear the crowd already.
You're going to hear him quite a bit over the long case of this match. It's going to be an interesting match to watch.
A lot of pressure on Darren Burnett in these sort of games where you're playing against the crown, irrespective of their position within that particular code. The expectation is very high that you tuck them away, and if you don't, oh dear, there's going to be a bit of stick going on, I think.
I think there's a lot of pressure on Darren Burnett. He's reigning world champion and he's got everything to lose. Everyone's expecting him to win this game, but he's also playing the #1 player in the Crown Green game, so it's not a rollover this game. Fantastic start from Gary.
They're all Crown Green.
Gary's been around a long time.
Very much so.
Now in his early 40s, in a stage where he's got all that experience as well, so he won't be overawed in any way on the flat. A lot of support with him today as well. That's going to help. Darren just trying to sneak past the red one. And he has, dropping back. Close for number one.
I think that's just won it from Darren there. Going back to what you're saying, yeah, Gary's got quite a bit of support in the audience. A lot of the Greater Manchester lads have come down to watch him. And they can make life difficult for Darren a bit at times. So if Gary can keep in this game, I think it's imperative he can keep in this first set, really.
Move on to the forehand, bigger target. Rest the ball.
Looks as tight as he dare be.
He just hooks across if you just miss it. He didn't miss it by much, probably only a bowl's width. Going on to the respot, that's no bad thing, that might be useful. Tactically, of course, it's very different whenever you start moving into the third and fourth bowl dimension for the Crown. It's, I was talking to Chris Brown earlier and saying to him, you know, I see the Crown as a much purer game in some ways because it's two bowls and it's quick, whereas the psychology comes into it in a great way, especially with the crowd. But tactically, it's different from the, let's put it that way. I wouldn't say it's lower or doesn't have that dimension, but it's certainly different.
That's certainly the difference between the two codes. It's the third and fourth bowl, the tactical side of the game, and basically where you're going to position your third and fourth bowls. It can be a massive factor. And from a Crown Green player, I'm not sure we probably give that side of the game enough thought, really, because we're not used to it.
Well, you don't need to.
No.
You know, that's the thing about it. It's going back all the years that I've been watching the Waterloo on television, and of course it disappeared for a while, and now it's back again. You still see the excitement and the drawing and driving ability, but the in-between shots are just not the same. They don't seem to be applicable. You don't look for the edges the same way as we would. As I was saying, here it's about damage limitation on this shot.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would say, well, just draw into it, but the front plant onto the green ball removes one. If he gets to the jack and edges across, he's on the respot.
Yeah.
So for me, this is about reaching, making sure you're arriving at the jack and the balls.
I'm not sure too many indoor men would be playing a drive here, would they? Or would probably be trying to draw in, but
well, heavily controlled weight. No, what they would do is they'll look to try and disturb the front ball onto the green, take it out. It may stay in for shot. If you miss it and get to the jack, you get a good result.
Is he on a wide line here? Or
He's on a lovely line. He's on a very, very good line with this. Just needs to hurry on the weight. That's all. Just to hurry on the weight. Really good effort.
Great effort. Fantastic effort. Like you say, his line was absolutely bang on there.
He's probably doing the right thing in many respects, and the in-between shots for you guys, you just haven't had the time to develop those for this event. And the draw and the drive is very much there for you. That ball's just dropped away, so it's going to be 2 to green. Signalled on our score with the 2 little dots. Marker Alan Thornhill, been around a long time, Alan. Worked in Commonwealth Games and Melbourne 2006 and in Delhi. That was a hard stint for the Commonwealth Games, I can assure you, for everybody there, but it was very enjoyable. And of course he was in Glasgow this year as well. So
I believe Darren Burnett won the gold medal as well.
Yes, and won the final quite comfortably. Hardest one for him was actually against Martin McHugh, the guy from Northern Ireland. He beat 21-20. He was 20-17 down in that match. One shot away from winning nothing. And then cruised the next 2 games. Fine margins.
Would you agree that it's important really that Gary can stay with Darren in this first set to give himself the best chance of winning, really?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I felt that throughout this event, the Crown guys that are doing well have held that first set very, very close, especially up to the 6th, 7th end. Occasionally it's just run away from them then, but you know, the whole idea is to add to the pressure, and the only way to do that is to stay with them to the point where if you win the first set, the flat guys are really thinking to themselves, good grief, now I'm in a heap of trouble. They will not want to go into a tie break.
Well, no, I suppose when it goes into a tie break, it's just pot luck, you know, and anyone can win the game
Well,
then. But
one good controlled weight shot into the ditch and land top of it.
yeah,
That's the end of it.
definitely yesterday's play. One thing I noticed in all 4 games of singles was that all of our Crown Green lads were all massively in their first set. Up until, like you say, a 6 end, they were all near enough, say 4 apiece, going after 6 ends, and then just dropped away on the 7th, 8th, and the final end.
Yeah. That was the favourite score for each, getting to that stage, and then really the 7th end is the key end, because if you're there, if you get a 2 or 3, then yeah, opposition's chasing at the last 2 ends. So, but it's set play, which again you guys don't play, so everything's different really. A bit short, but not bad. Different delivery of Gary, isn't it? He sort of pushes the ball out, comes back, pushes it out again.
Yeah, he's got a little backward step before he delivers a bowl. It's most unusual, but I suppose it works for him, and it's not done him any harm in the Crown Green game. So maybe we should all try that.
Well, when I'm coaching people, I always say, look, let's sort out if you have a problem, but if the end result's good, let's just leave it alone.
Quite agree.
End result is the one that's all important. You'll see Darren looks right down at the green when he delivers. No one does that in the game. And he gets a little wobble away. Coaches just go mad at that sort of stuff because you're sort of, well, you should be looking down the line and all that. The reality is, look where the ball ends up.
Yeah, it works for him, doesn't it?
Yep, and he drops it in. What on earth he's looking at, I have no idea. It's about 4 feet in front of his foot.
He gets used to a routine though, I suppose, but one thing I've noticed with Darren is, watching him practice this week, is that he seems to doesn't ever get one of his bowls away extremely clean. They all seem to sort of wobble out of his hand, but it's the same thing all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Ian Bond was the same with that. Bondy used to bump the bowl. He bumped the bowl every single time. It's only when you do it some of the time that you're in trouble. The Crown guys, generally, very smooth deliveries.
Having a look here, Gary, I think.
Yeah, he's good weight. He's got a chance.
Nearly done the jack.
Oh, unlucky. Might drop in for second, but that's unlucky. Good ball.
Would you say that's made that worse now, David?
Oh, it hasn't made it any easier. The only thing is he has got a weight shot. If his own ball drops down, he's hidden behind the 2 green, and he's got a weight shot into the green balls. And he can play almost whatever weight he wants for the edge. The 2 balls will disappear.
I think Gary's next bowl, I think those 2 green balls seem to be touching. With any connection on them, I think they'll both go, won't they?
Oh, they'll both go. They'll go out no problem. Darren will be aware of that. Policeman from our bros, Darren Burnett. Married with a couple of kids. That's actually helped him quite considerably. There is the split shot, nothing easy about it, or the front green into it, which Gary will look at. The split shot's actually more difficult because it now means that if he gets it wrong and gets the outside ball onto the red, he's going to lose 3, maybe 4. And that's a timing shot. He's almost better hitting this with pace.
I think he needs to be hitting in that shortest green bowl into the other 3 with considerable pace, really.
That's the best result you could hope for. Trouble with the weight shot is if you're just over the weight, gets that outside one.
Won't come back.
Yeah, it takes his own out. Just thinking when he was going to deliver, I think, is he going to try and draw this? Looks like a narrower line for the weight, but it will never get back. Yeah, that's the problem with that shot. In many ways, the flat green, that's the shot the flat would have played. They'd have been confident enough to time that in, but the Crown guys just haven't had time to develop it. haven't the time to practice. We're all too busy winning money at the weekend.
Not sure about that.
Well, some of the guys did pretty well. It must have been the Beast who was telling me he did well at the weekend.
I did particularly well, yeah.
Well, there you go, you see. That's Wayne Ditchfield for everyone that's watching. And you'll know what I mean when you see him in the next match.
He's a beast.
He's a big boy. Good start for Darren. Couple of doubles. I don't think Gary's played too many poor bowls really, but you just know that if you're not in with that first two balls, you're going to be in a bit of bother.
Yeah, unless they're real close bowls, Darren seems he's going to punish you, considerably for playing a loose bowl on here. Gary just played a bit too far and just struggling to get a length, isn't he?
And that will keep the crowd quiet. That's very important for Darren as well, because Darren's not used to that interaction with the crowd the same way. It'll not disturb him. I think he's probably had a bit of barracking as a policeman. But, in the bowls on the flat doesn't happen very often. We need more of it, I have to say. But you can't really get behind your man unless he's getting close.
It's very difficult if you've got nothing to shout about. But I'm sure Gary will want to get in quick within the next end or two.
Yeah, he's good this time. Just going to sneak past. And here the crowd reaction to that.
Just woke him up. Brought a little smile to Gary's face, that as well.
Will Gary interact with his boys at the side, or does he just keep fairly stoic about the
he's fairly poker faced, to be fair,
yeah,
Gary.
I got that impression from my memory.
You won't read much out of Gary, to be honest, but he does get after one or two bowls. He will run one or two in, but he doesn't show many emotions, I'll be honest.
It's a shot back again. It's almost like a wry smile as to say, well, I sort of expected that. Good guy to play against, Darren. He will chat to you if you want to chat. There's no hidden agenda with somebody like Darren Burnett. He just enjoys the game. He's very professional, does a job, and has got a remarkable CV behind him. He's been around a long time though. 4 years he won in the trot in the under-25 world indoor singles. You don't do that unless you're a good player.
It's pretty impressive.
So we knew what we were getting out of Darren from the early 20s.
Got a great sense of humour as well, to be fair.
Very dry wit on him. Exactly. You wouldn't think it when you sort of see him. Like, oh, he looks a bit of a, bit sour, but he's not. He's a good guy.
Are we having a look here, or is he just going to peg into them short bowls?
I think he's just going to get the front one. He knows he can't afford to be heavy because he'll never get back, so he has a dead draw.
What bowl is it that Darren plays with?
Well, it does vary a little bit, and depending on the circumstances, we would normally use a Henselite.
I noticed quite a lot of the indoor players that played yesterday. They seem to play with quite a keener bowl than the Crown lads.
Yeah, it all depends. Henselite or Taylor. I think Darren's case it is a Taylor actually, but a lot depends on the rink when you're practicing. A lot of them are tied up with the commercial side of one company, but it's all really down to what suits the green. That's a Taylor Ace he's using, I think. But I have seen players start off with one make and then change the next game if they're not happy. Three bowls in particular work well on the flat. The Taylor Ace, universally a good bowl. Doesn't matter what the surface is. Drake's Pride Professional, which you guys know a lot about in terms of Drake's Pride, and then the Henslide Tiger. Going for the runner.
Just let him go, guys. He's a good striker, usually.
Yeah, it didn't look right. There was nothing going into that head. That's why I was chatting about it with you, because there was nothing going in. I couldn't see an awful lot on for him. It's going to be another double. Yep, the Henslide Tiger's the other third ball, and most of the players will play between those three. Arrows coming into it nowadays, and ball from Australia, but not that many have taken it up just yet.
Short lead from Darren, giving Gary a chance here now. He needs to punish this lead, for me. Very rare you'll see Darren play a lead like that.
Oh, he's pretty close. He knew he was just slightly heavy, and that's a good sign. As you say, Callum Darren doesn't often get too far away with that first ball, but anything within 15 inches is a good starter. Looking to correct. Interesting he's changed onto the forehand, because a lot of people would have stayed on the back, but there's the end result. Can't argue with it.
You're going to get in with pace.
Has to be good weight. Side wanted to be on the outside of that ball to cover the reds. The flat guys would be attacking this on the backhand just to edge the ball off and stay, or turn the jack through to the back. But
I can see why Gary's striking at this, because he seems to be blocked off both pegs now to this, and he's such a good striker. Having said that,
commentators just don't do that.
Normally Gary's a fantastic striker.
Yeah, I always think to myself, don't say that when I've already said it. Yeah. And he'll miss. But having said that, it was probably the right shot. He tried to control it. The thing about the forehand was that there's a short ball. It's not in the way on the forehand, but if he had played the backhand, he could have used it going tight and come off it onto the jack. That increased the percentages by 50%, and that's what we look for a lot.
Yeah.
We don't look for the two jack focus shots. We look for the percentages.
But that's the difference, like you say. Whereas a crown green player there would have been looking how they can actually draw the end there, and it doesn't really look as if you can actually draw the end of either peg, or either hand, should I say. That's why Gary's striking again. Didn't think he'd missed twice.
Get one, lucky, really. But he needed the jack. That was the problem. He's still going to lose a count here.
I've got to be honest. It's looking pretty dark now. This first set, I can't really see. I can't see any way back from here, to be honest. But
once you get the 8-9 shots, you start to think to yourself,
I think more than anything now, Gary's going to probably be thinking about set 2, but he needs to sort of settle down and try and win an end here, and that will just settle him down, get hold of the jack and alter a length, because Darren's obviously comfortable now. He's setting the jack and playing his favoured length, and he's settled on it now, isn't he?
Yeah, you want to extend the first set as long as possible when you're getting a bit of a bit of a tanking like this, the one thing that comes into your mind, certainly always did when I'm playing, is try and get to 7 or 8 ends if you can. Or if you can't, you're not going to stretch it to the 9, but try to get to the 7 or 8 ends, because the longer you're on, the better you're going to get, and hopefully your opponent will go off a little bit. Not too much from the crowd at the moment. Darren's managed to silence them.
First time they've been quiet this week, but you can't argue. I mean, he's playing some fantastic bowls and he's put Gary under a lot of pressure. Are you having a look here?
Not bad. Just going to drop a little bit, but at least it's in the area to give him a chance. Right. You sort of see this happening. The one thing got to come into the crown guy's head, and that is, I can't wait to get you on a big crown and a big green. And it really would be on the other foot then.
Yeah, I think we've all been thinking that this week. I mean, that's why I've been, on a personal note, massively impressed by the 4 lads that played yesterday, because they were all in their games yesterday, in their first sets, and they had all their opponents worried and competing really well with them. And you've got to ask a question, you know, how would they possibly cope on a ground green against them?
With great difficulty.
That was my feeling, but you know, I was massively impressed with how well all our ground lads played yesterday.
Yeah, you have to put the work in. I've noticed you guys put a lot of work in down there, and that would be the same whenever I was certainly playing in the crown green, and it was only my only experience of it, but I arrived 2 or 3 days early and put a bit of time in, and Brian Duncan helped me out, which was pretty useful. Coming out of the hotel one day, he said, "You're going up to the green?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "I'll show you a few things," and he did.
You didn't have a bad teacher then.
Well, exactly, you know, that sort of thing. This will do me. Thank you very much, Brian. You know, I'm very comfortable with this, but once you start going to that 50, 60 yard mark, it's a real tough game. And you don't always play on the quickest surfaces either.
No, and you have to play in all different kinds of weather conditions and everything, you know, it's difficult.
He's got a good idea with this one. This is a perfect idea. Yeah, well played. Good ball. Really good ball. Lovely weight. If he had hit his own ball with that weight, he was going to get the shot as well. I'm just getting a few instructions there in terms of distances. Now this is the situation we want Darren as a player to feel if you're playing against him, because it gives Gary a chance to add difficulty, as he's so damn good that he probably won't. It's close. Slightly favours green. These markers are good, and the Royal Bowls Tour have a tendency to take their word for it. Very rarely wrong.
Don't let him score. Don't let him score.
Getting into Darren a bit there, I think, on the way up.
Some of the crime lads, yeah, giving them a bit of stick there.
Oh, I think he's heard it all before on a Saturday night in our group. The uniform on. I think he's heard all that and worse. It'll slide off him. Chance here. Tap his own ball, drop inside, turn the jack. On the forehand, well, slightly different. He's going to have to go onto a new land out there because he played inside the last time.
He's got a lot of things going for him here, though, isn't he, to be fair? There's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah, the margins aren't good, though. That's the only thing. They're very exact.
Got to reach the end, the first, though, Corky.
Yeah, he's not getting there, is he? He's kicking himself from that one. He knew the weight from the previous ball. Now Darren will look at this and think to himself, 9-0 up, possibly line the shot. If I'm not lining the shot, rest the red ball off for 4.
Would he not come on the forehand and come round the back? What,
It's available, but the thing about the forehand is that he's taken the jack to the red ball. So it means his front ball is out of play, and if he thinks he's lying the shot, he won't want to do that. It all depends on who's lying the shot. The backhand offers his own ball, but the forehand offers a nice clean jack. So he's on the forehand. He mustn't be too sure about who's lying if he's playing the forehand.
he doesn't like it straight away. He's turned his back on that.
He does that. Knew he wasn't there.
Very good judgment.
Look at this. Gonna drop off. No. Well, still available. Big strong bias, of course.
Would you not, if you were Gary here, would you not come in on the backhand
I
and
would
just
play
try
the
and turn
backhand.
your own over?
Yeah, I would play the backhand, I have to say, because you can still draw the shot. But at any tap on his own ball, and you'll get it.
This way, he's going to try and get two, isn't he? And just any touch on the jack for two, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but the margins are very narrow.
Can you get past that short bowl?
No, he's into it. Right, not even into it. He's
Inside it.
actually hasn't got the weight, but
Just struggling for a weight, Gary, isn't he? At the minute, he's just not picked the
well, he
pace.
played that with the second ball. You know, he knew the weight from that, and yet the next two were short, and he'll be kicking himself because that was a chance, especially if the shot's against him. Little chucks going in. Make sure the ball doesn't move on the measure.
One thing I've been interested in in this week with these little chucks, because
Yeah.
we haven't got them in the crown green side, and it's interesting.
All you guys have mentioned that to me.
Unbelievable.
And they're a very simple device, and
Yeah.
we've had them a long time.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing it hasn't carried over, because when you buy a measure, you should be really buying just 50p worth of chalks. It just means that nobody's going to come up and stamp on a ball or something like that and fall over after the balls have finished play. It's a very cheap and simple solution to what can be a controversial issue on occasions. Darren takes the single.
How would you approach this now if you were Gary?
I think I'd start to open things up, to be truthful with you. He's not drawing well enough. And when you're not drawing well enough, the more you try, sometimes the more difficult it becomes. If Darren starts to get close to the first two, I'd start to strike. Open it up, get the jack out onto the re-spot, see if that helps.
Just do something, try and change something, yeah.
Just try and knock him about a bit. You know, it's
Yeah.
nothing subtle about it, but just try and knock him about a bit. That's probably the best way. And that's where the strength is really for the Crown as well. They've got a big drive and a very accurate drive. It's a good starter.
Yeah, most of our lads are real good strikers, to be fair. You know, and we do let them go.
Well, that's what I was saying to the guys just over lunchtime. I was saying, the big drives are good. The trouble is that you drive so hard that quite often the jack goes off the rink or hits the backboard or something like that when you really want it in the ditch. Just pull back 10% and it might well work in your favour.
One thing I've noticed when I've been practicing striking this week, just cutting across, is the fact that I've got an extremely powerful strike, but I've noticed that the bowls don't seem to grip the surface of this. It seems to be skidding across the
they
carpet.
slide over the top.
Whereas obviously on the grass, what we play on, when you strike, it pretty much comes out your hand. It goes where you send them because it grips to the grass.
The grass,
it's
on that
just not.
speed.
Yeah.
In Australia, it would be a very similar thing, really. In that, in Australia, for some reason, the big heavy drivers are really mainly there. You see the drive in our game, but you don't see it as much in singles play on the single rink with the top players. They don't like to get drawn into it too much because it affects their drawing weight, and that's where you're going to win matches.
Remember, I think is it Kelvin Kirk? He used to
Kelvin.
let them go, didn't he?
Yeah, Kelvin does. He used a very small bowl, and that helped. But there's been a lot of good drivers. Taddy can put it down. Taddy Marshall can put it down pretty quick. Paul Foster as well. Pretty fast drivers. But the whole idea is not the speed. The whole idea is to hit what you're aiming for. turned away on that one again. Yeah, he was outside it. Probably knew the weight was good. A little chance here for Gary to extend things. Touch on the jack would be good.
Obviously, I know an indoor player now would probably be wanting just to dribble that jack, maybe probably just less than a foot or so for three, but it's an extremely hard shot for a ground green player to play.
Needs to hurry. We call that an arriving draw, which means that you're guaranteeing to get to the jack and you might be a little bit heavy. That would be the whole idea there. Guaranteed to be to the jack. But he wasn't up, and that's another one for Darren. I think this could well be the last end of this set. As we move into number 7. The marker shows it's 2. Definitely going to be the last end then. There's no way Gary's going to score 3 4s.
No, he's not.
Just be happy to get the jack.
He just want to win an end, yeah. Stop the dreaded naught, really.
Well, it happens on the flat green too, with other players, qualifiers and various others from other countries, that the first set goes badly wrong. It can happen. If you win the second set by 1 shot, that's enough.
Yeah. And that's the difference with this game, see, which completely different concept to how we approach our game, because we couldn't just be 12 shots down and then win the second set by 1 shot and be just 1-1. We would still be 11 shots behind.
Exactly.
So you just start afresh, don't you? That's what you got to think of. Forget what's come before now.
Sets play generally is played on it's played in all the World Bowls Tour events, but in a lot of other events and qualifiers and things, but back home. And here in the UK, 21 up is the normal, same as yourselves for nationals and various other things. Down in Australia, it's 25 or 31. 31's good. That really focuses the mind. In a tight game, you can go 3 hours with that.
A lot of our Crown Green lads, we have 1 or 2 competitions that are 31 up, and we do like that because, in our opinion, we can get off to a bit of a sloppy start and we've still got a chance of coming back. But I also think I'd like us to invent a tournament into our game that's set play, and maybe like best of 3 sets, just like this game is.
Yeah.
Just add a different dimension to it, really.
Well, 3 sets of 9, you're guaranteed 27 ends if it's a good game. I tell you what, 29 ends has a tendency, or 27 ends, sorry, has a tendency to sort of make sure the good player comes through. I like the 31 up because the best player usually wins.
Yeah. I think for television purposes, though, set play is good because it's you into the action straight away, and rather than like maybe playing first to 21 or 31, where maybe the first 20 minutes or so is a bit casual and it's not that meaty and inspiring to watch. In set play, it can just be over just in a flash, can't it? So it's
absolutely. It was developed very specifically for television. The UK final was over 9 sets. First player to 7, which of course quite often can take up to 10, 12 ends to play out, and you have 9 sets.
Gary's on a wider line here.
He's coming back now. It's a strong ball he's using. Looks good to me for a couple. Marker's not sure how many's in it, that's the problem. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Darren comes into this with a bit of weight. Sticking to the draw, he looks like he's slightly on the narrower line. Try and make sure he gets into something.
Nearly on Gary's bowl.
Ah, he's good anyway. Just needs to stop. Yeah, that's good enough. He was making sure on the inside line there, Colin, simply because when you're trying to draw like that and you go on the outside line and you drop off something, you have no effect on the head. If you go slightly inside, make sure you're there, you're going to do something.
See one or two of the lads that have come to support Gary are giving him a bit of friendly stick here.
An opportunity, you see, because
Yeah.
he's not... Can anybody remember the last time he was on the 12-0?
Never.
On the wrong end of it? I'm sure he's been up that a lot of times. I think he's on the card. I think he's on the card. Yep, he is.
Well done, Gary.
Don't think it's any more than that, but that doesn't matter. The set's over anyway. He just wanted to score, that's all.
Try go wild.
Biggest cheer of the day for a one shot. There you go.
Taking it in good spirits anyway. Interested to see what length he sends this jack now. Think he'll shorten him right down, or
anything that's different from what Darren's been playing.
Yeah.
Would be good. So we can go short or full length. Yep, going for the long one.
Good lead from Gary there. Hopefully that winning that last end of that first set settled him down a bit.
Well, that and also getting his hand on the jack, and for a lot of the flat green people who may be watching, of course, the jack has no bias. But the crown green has, and it's much bigger, and that makes it a different part of the game. Oh, look at that. Get one close and he nails it.
Just when you think you'll alter the length of the jack and try and knock Darren's length out of him, and he just go and plays a back toucher. Just heartbreaking, that. Just going to hang out with pace.
As I was saying to some of the guys when they've been in, I definitely must get over to the Waterloo and enjoy the banter for a couple of days.
Yeah, you've got to come down and just experience it, because it's fantastic. Fantastic theatre to play in. As you know, you played in it, obviously, like you said, a few years ago. But it's just like a different world, completely different aspect of the bowling game, isn't it?
Well, it is, especially if the guys, Darren just turned it round. Well, that's opened a bit of a target now. I think the flat green would be into that now. It'd be interesting to see what Gary plays. It's when they're shouting at you that they've got money on you, and in a polite way, get your finger out and start playing a few bowls. Yeah. It's usually a little bit more graphic than that, but
it can be at times, yeah.
I think they're all out to enjoy themselves for a day when they're watching Crown.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little bash at this one.
Got to be into them, surely. Oh!
Yep, that'll do. Good drive, on target.
I told you he's a good striker, David.
I think there's a few pretty sharp comments going on out there.
A few of the crowd are woken up now.
And this would be good if it gets to sort of the 6th, 7th end and it's close, because I think they'll certainly be creating a bit of noise and a bit of atmosphere.
Gary likes this. He's running it in. He's after it.
Needs to run. Needs to hurry. That's the problem. Hard after a drive to get that dead weight again. It really is, but it's left Darren with an opportunity to extend the bowl through or the jack. Neither of those shots are particularly appetising because he can take his own ball out. I know it's only the first end of the set, but I think you'll find that the really top guys on the flat will be will not be saying, oh, it's only one shot. They'll take it very serious and try and make sure the opponent doesn't get on the card early. Yep, playing for the bowl out or the jack through. Could get a result with this. Oh, it's only just held in. Slightly off. 2 ends in a row now, that's good.
Start for Gary there. You think he'll stick to that longer length now then?
Oh, yeah, I would.
Got to, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, the thing is, it's not so much sticking to that gun. I think the biggest problem for him is to make sure he gets it long, because you guys aren't used to playing with this light jack.
No. One thing I have noticed, so you can overplay. Obviously, you've got about 3 yards past the tee, haven't you, to play with? So I like a short length, so I've been practicing, and I've been finding it easier to bring the mat as far forward as I can, and then I've got 3 yards past that I can send the jack. That's what might have been my thinking anyway. Well,
believe me, it works. So always recommend that, because you have got that 3. Fine with Paul Foster and other players, they keep them back and still go for the 23 because they're so accurate at it. But you have to give yourself a margin of error. The only danger of it is that if you bring it up to the mat up and the jack goes in the ditch, but that's all part of it. You know, that's always going to be the risk. This is good.
Let it reel in.
Yeah, good start. That's really where that first bowl, a good first bowl the last end, that's even better this end.
One thing I have noticed, I don't know if you have this week, is the fact that a lot of the indoor men are struggling to come to terms with the Crown Green's terminology. Oh yeah.
Wheelbarrow, half a loaf, fly like an eagle.
That's just a few.
There's been a few more of it. I haven't picked them all up in the com box, but I will, and I'll be taking notes and using them. International Opens up in Perth in Scotland in a couple of weeks, so I'll get a few of the Crown Green comments in there, and they'll be asking me what on earth you're talking about, but I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it is good. Darren immediately didn't like that.
He's pushed it out very wide. He does use a strong bias ball. Taylor will make its way back. Here it comes. He just knew that he was slightly wrong.
It's unbelievable that he can tell that.
Most of the guys can. Yeah, even if they're half a ball out, they know that they're just not right.
Gary's one of the few, just to mention this, Gary's one of the few Crown Green players, there's not many, that does always come down and inspect the head quite a lot in the Crown Green game. Very, very few Crown Green players come and have a look to see how the bowls lie. It's like a constant game where you just get on with it and just keep the flow and the rhythm of the game going. But Gary quite often will come and inspect just to see how things lay, which is
it's unusual because he's only played one bowl.
Yeah.
On your game from that perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever get any of the flat green guys going up after one bowl unless it's a tie break where they have to look at it really carefully. They have to ask permission to come up even after their second bowl. Rules have been relaxed for this somewhat when it comes to walking up and having a look.
I'm quite glad of that.
I think well, it's
otherwise I think I'd probably be breaking.
You know, we had to make the rules and such that it suited both codes.
So lucky, fantastic effort there.
Well, that's all about closing it down to try and make sure that Gary doesn't score any more than a 1. If you're not going to draw the shot, you get a really good second.
He's almost quite happy to concede one here then.
Oh,
really. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was a hard shot to draw it, so just get as good a second as you possibly can. He's got the last bowl to work with something, but it's not going to be easy to get the shot. Lovely end result on the delivery. Extended hand through the line.
Playing thumb peg here, or what in this game is known as the backhand. This is roundabout.
Oh, he's good.
What a bowl.
Oh, yeah. That's a beauty. Darren will attack this. There's one or two boys are very vocal out there. And that's good. They should have an opinion. That's what he's looking at.
Trying to three ball plant.
Well, the trouble with 3-ball plant there is that the middle ball will stay because the velocity will be taken off it completely by the last ball.
Do you think Jack could slightly move though? Or
I don't think so. I think the way it's angled, the chances are it'll just go bowl to bowl. His best result is actually to hit the shot ball on the wing ball and push it out the side. He's got the respot covered. That's the best result, but it's all about damage limitation. When you're 2 down, you want to reduce it to a single. There's no draw, so the shot decision's quite straightforward.
Yeah, this will be coming through at some sort of pace. Yeah.
Just what sort of weight you want to use. He's in the area for that front plant. Well, the jack did move more than what I thought, but that wasn't going to work for him. He really didn't want that jack to move.
Probably saved on there, is it?
Well, one on a measure. But the jack going through was never going to be of any benefit to him. I had a feeling he played that with a view to getting the outside ball onto the jack and move it out to the side.
And like you say, he probably didn't think the jack was going to move, so if he connected like he did, he thought the one would stay there and he'd just still save the one shot.
Yeah, that's all. And that's where I think you guys need to sort of sit back and say, well, how am I going to restrict the shots here? You're so used to losing 1 or a 2, and sometimes damage limitation has to come into play, and you're so good at the drive that probably need to use it for that. In particular in the pairs though, because looks like that might be 2.
Looks like that red ball's in there.
Yeah,
so
looks like it's 2. Mike Davies just sorting it out.
Yeah, red ball.
Yeah, well in. Yes, I've been surprised a little bit with the pairs match last night. It was a little bit negative. I thought the guys should have been stroking it about a bit more, open it up. You know, a lot of balls in the head. Things are tight, hard to get in. Don't get sucked into those 2-3 yard shots that are so difficult to play.
I agree with you, yeah.
Just hit the darn thing, get it out into the open and then draw it.
I've also thought, with obviously the flat playing as the lead role, the 2 lads at the back were trying to play very difficult shots.
Yep.
You know, and trying to draw round a lot of objects in the way. And with us Crown lads being so, you know, good at the striking side of the game, I thought they'd have sort some, you know, opened the heads up a bit last night.
That's it. It should have been opened up.
But then that was probably up to the flat lads to sort of.
Well, you're 2 young players out there,
yeah,
and maybe
probably
just
showed their inexperience of a fraction. Yeah,
I think so. I certainly would have had the guys blasting into things early and shaking the game up a bit. 2 good starters, touchers both.
I'll come on the back end now, yeah.
Lovely, easy, smooth delivery. So essential in your game, of course. Any bumps and getting it away badly, you're going to get massively punished.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. You've got to have a smooth delivery in the Crown Green game. So unforgiving in our game if you do get a ball away bad. You can pretty much forget it straight off.
There's another ball in the head, but maybe tempted with a little bit of a runner here to try and disturb things a little bit.
He's into him.
I'm glad to see this. I think it's exactly what he needed to do in this match, and he's been much more aggressive in the first couple of ends in many ways as well. Just checking it will go on the respot over in that side. So potentially 2 down to 1 up.
Good shot there from Gary.
It's the right idea. Don't let them sit too long. Play to your strengths, which is the draw and the drive. Darren will draw the shot. It's not so much the issue, it's just how close he gets.
Do you have another pop at that? No.
Too much room. Darren's got the last ball. Thing is, if he has a pop and misses, he's going to lose a double. But confident enough to have another go at it. Needs the ball out clean or the jack in the ditch. Well, he got his own ball and it's onto the jack, but where's the jack going?
I think it's going to come back on the respot.
Yeah,
Could be in trouble here.
Again, so he's going to lose the double. I would have drawn there, and even if I missed, try and get a good close second shot so you lose 1 instead of 2. It's the second one coming in. He can afford to be any length he wants virtually. Nothing close to it. Gary took his closest one out. In fact, by doing that, I think he's added another one in. We'll just check that and see.
I think it was only 2, wasn't it? Or
scoreboard goes up. They were looking at the third one. There was a short bowl loitering around there. It's come up as a 2. So that's where the difference is as well. If Gary had a drawn there and got one within a foot, they scored a single, he was carrying that 2-shot lead.
It's imperative now for the next sort of 3 or 4 ends he can keep this score the same as it is, or maybe level going into maybe end 8-7-8.
Yeah, that's what he wants. That's really what he wants. And interesting that Darren's stuck with the longer jack length. He obviously feels very comfortable on it, and no reason why not when you do this. I think Gary's played it the right way. You know, if he's not going to be lying after the first 2 balls, hit it and get it out there.
Fantastic ball.
Yeah, great ball. Always arriving, always making sure he was getting there. Even if he'd have missed it, he was coming into a good place.
Gary thinks he's short here, but with it. Just going to die on him.
Biggest problem there is he's probably protecting the jack, and that's why I'm getting a bit of an expression from him. Looks like he might be covering the jack up a little bit for the running ball. A very good ball again. He's brought that in, which means that it's virtually protected on the forehand. interesting he's decided to try and draw this. We'll see whenever the ball comes up.
Has he reached?
The respot position which he's coming to now was his.
What an effort this is.
That's a great ball. Well played. Second shot forward. Close for shot.
I think it's won it.
Yep. It's showing us one red. I don't think Darren expected that,
No.
to be honest, because he only had, what, 15, 18 inches to put on. That's not easy at that distance.
Would he not be better off changing his hand now?
He
Coming
might
in
look at
between
it.
those two red balls?
Yep, he'll look at the backhand. Forehand's not really available to him.
Because he probably could just nick that jack through for 3 if he caught it right.
This is where it'll start coming across the rink. Now he's looking for the dip into the bowler jack. Got the jack, that should do it. That's good stuff. That's really good bowling, both players. Trouble for Gary is now he's played 2 really good balls out of 3, and now he has to do it again. A little shake of the head. There's a little bit more weight on this, and he has to go a shade wider.
And he's got to put at least another yard in it. You always know by Gary's reaction if he likes it.
Mine's pretty good.
I'm not sure if he's far enough. He needs to run.
Struggling for weight.
He needs to run.
Well, even if he had gone into the ditch, it was worth it, because he had always a chance of coming into the green balls and resting off them. Let's see what value that ball was of Darren's. Got a couple out of it.
Could be a big end that last ball of Darren's could turn out to be a massive bowl.
Yeah, he knows he's outside it. Just not much, but just enough. So a degree of value on a ball that's a couple of feet behind, you're always trying to draw a shot, but I work on almost a triangle method, and that is the triangle at the top of the point and then coming back past the green or past the jack, so it comes through. Anything in that triangle is going to be good. That's on the right hand tip at the back of it, effectively. It's always going to be a useful ball. When you're playing in 4s, it's slightly different. It's using inverted triangle as the target area. So you've got the lead in the second and the third and skip. It's a different tactical game. There's the correction.
On a lot tighter road. Pace is going to have to keep him up, but he's gone now. He almost falls off the mat, Darren, doesn't he?
Sometimes it's not very pretty to look at, but the end result is more than good enough to make up for it.
I know he'll be thinking about getting into these, but whether that's the right shot or not.
I think I would. I really do, because that's a target for him. Not particularly easy to draw that close. He's down on a good line with this if he has the right weight. Otherwise, it'll just hold off. Yeah, he's played a really good ball there, and he's still 2 down. He'll certainly go with the next one because he's got the back position and the respot. Doesn't want to lose a double this end.
Crowd just getting involved again there.
Yeah, Darren's pushed out a bit wider. It's a big enough target as it is. He's just, Darren, you don't want to be jack high. He needs to move. Well, he's put him behind it.
Gary's got to be into these now.
He's more or less saying, look, if you get it, you'll get one shot out of it. If you lose, I pick up 3. So he's taking a bit of a risk here. I think it was maybe he couldn't cover the respot because I have a feeling Gary's ball's right on top of it. Just off to the left of our picture. We can't even see it. Bit of pressure on this one.
Usually he's your man for pressure. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah. If you're going to play that, you have to be slightly on the high side of the white dots. Just the ball's width.
So the grimace on Gary's face, he knew that was a big bowl. And
No, that's Darren scampering away again. Good start, but one ball can make all the difference. That's the thing about a shot like that on the indoor. If you started off just half a ball or a ball wide of the little white markers on the way down, you know by the time it gets up the other end you're going to be very close. It's not going to move much more than 6 inches. Especially with the pace you guys go at. You know, he had a target there on the high side of 6 or 8 inches, so nothing for underneath. It's not even a criticism, it's more a matter of you're so used to going at things in a different way, that's all.
Definitely.
Still have my crown green balls and jack up in the loft. Pristine they are.
You have to get them back out sometime.
One event.
One event.
One event. A lot of practicing in 3 matches, and that's all they've had.
Crowd are getting a bit more vocal again. Maybe?
Yes, it's
seems to be they've made use of that happy hour.
Yes. One of the joys of the 2-for-1 offer. We did think that might have an effect. Then we thought in the pairs maybe they should do it from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock as well.
Gary's pace just wouldn't get him in there in time.
Haven't looked across the odds for some of the matches that are later, but Paul Foster I think is 15 to 1 on. That's a pretty decent bet against a guy who plays on this carpet. When you think about it, to go for Wayne.
Oh.
Plays on this. He's won the under 25 juniors on the flat.
I know a lot of the Crown Green lads, you know, that come and support and watch the bowls. I think they've all been having a bit of 11 to 2 on Wayne for that game because it's a big price, seeing as he's got a lot of form at this game.
Yes, on his own ring.
On his own ring.
Oh, good ball. Well done, Gary. Played it well. Made sure it was a reaching draw. Turn the jack or rest the ball. Sometimes players get too jack focused and all they see is a lovely gentle draw to the jack, and it's not the best percentage shot on a rink of this speed. It's not the fastest rink you'll ever play on. It's nice pace though.
There's definitely a bit of value, Wayne, on next match on. He's not without a sniff in that game.
Well, he's shortened. The odds have definitely shortened a bit because he was even better than that a couple of days ago. Oh, Darren, you've dropped this. Now there's a chance for Gary.
Now then, Gary, here's your chance.
Yep. A little turn of the jack or draw for 3.
Pick the jack up, just move it.
Yep.
Probably a foot, and he could even possibly even count 4, but definitely count.
So aim for the 3, and it's a bonus if you get the jack.
Got to be far enough. He needs to be far enough here.
Oh, the line's not
Crowd are
bad.
shouting, "Get on!"
The line's not bad, but it
They
needs to
don't-
run. Needs to hurry. Oh, Gary,
Oh,
what are you
Gary.
doing? What a chance.
Needed to be far enough there, didn't he?
He had a yard all round the jack. He had 6 feet for that. Oh, same as his last ball, really, was what he was after, a reaching draw. Not be a happy bunny. It's even a measure for 2. We thought the 2 was in comfortably, but the camera angle just on this end foreshortens things somewhat.
A big chance to get that 3 back there, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Not get too many chances against Darren.
Yeah, it's 2 for Gary.
In by a mile. He's not even going back. Check it.
Situation there would be in the Crown Green game where Darren would certainly get heckled there for calling measures on that rather than just conceding 2.
There was just so much in it.
Yeah.
I played years ago. I played against a guy in a final, and it was lashing rain and Wales. God, it was steroids, and called the umpire out for a measure. I knew it wasn't a measure. The umpire walked on, didn't even measure, took his glasses off and handed to my opponent and said, "Are you really sure you want me to do this?" You know, it's some players use it for other reasons. Some players have got no idea of the distances. Andy Thompson's a shocker.
Yeah.
Andy cannot see.
Simon from our game is probably the only one of the top lads with the top of the game that's got a particularly poor eye.
Yeah.
You'll see him measuring everything
That would be
this
Andy.
week.
Andy for us. He needs glasses, but I've told him he's too vain to put them on. So we wind him up a bit. He's the silver fox, the grand old man of our sport, and doing very well, Andy Thompson, I have to say, doing extremely well. Still going strong. Now sitting number 10 in the world, and
He only won the World Championship about 3 years back as well, didn't he?
yeah, I came out of nowhere for that one. Made all the difference in the world, Andy. Slipping out of the top rankings, and
Great ball, Gary.
got a couple of very good results under him, and suddenly he's back with that excitement in his game. Coaching now for Jersey in the outdoors. As the manager of them, surprised at that actually, because I would have thought England would have grabbed him and
Yeah.
said we want that definitely, but didn't happen. I don't think I'd be too happy if I was in England with Andy Thompson coaching another country,
No.
having played for so long for England.
I don't think I'd be too happy about that either.
But they've got lots of resources, England, so the right people in the right places most of the time.
Gary's after one here.
Yeah, he's going back deep, I think with this. That
Unlucky.
offers up a good chance for him, actually. If Darren gets in with this ball, he's got 2 back position, so he can attack it.
Obviously, Darren's going to stay on the forehand.
Yeah, he'll be arriving at the
Wow.
jack. If he misses it, he comes into the back red ball, which gives him an option for the last delivery. Nothing for short with this one. Good effort to draw it, I have to say. Wasn't too far away.
Nearly has won it.
Gary has to think about this because...
I was just about to ask you, what on earth would you do if you were Gary here? Cause
well, he's two options. He'll look at it again. The backhand is to drop inside the front green one onto Darren's last bowl with good weight, or turn the bowl onto the jack, which is safe. The other option's on the forehand to drag the jack back off the green bowl to make 3. Now, he's in the 7th end. He's line 1, which is pretty good because he's only 2 behind. But if he leaves it, Darren will come in and take the ball out. So he needs to play this into the head. It just has to be good weight. Looks a little bit on the high side to me for what he's after. I think he was playing the right weight to get what I was talking about inside the green one. Well, that came back more than what I thought.
No, it did. It came from...
That came from nowhere.
Came from way out there.
What on earth size of ball is he using?
Well, that's had a completely different complexion on the end, doesn't it?
Well, it makes Darren's mind up.
Got to be driving, isn't it?
What size of ball is he using? Because that came back.
Not sure what size he's using. I couldn't tell you what
It must
size.
be a size 3 or something. There's no way that would normally come back around that green ball. Good shot in the end.
It's definitely, yeah, he's either using a size 3, he might even be using a size 2, I'm not sure.
Well, that would make sense then, because they just really come round corners. They're like bananas, the 2s and 3s. We would normally use 4 or 5. Yep. That's the attacking ball. He's in the area as well. Jack and ball. Yep. That'll go out onto the respot position if it's off the rink.
It'll still be 2 to Gary this.
Well, it depends on the respot and depends where the jack's gone. Well, let's just see, because he's straightening, the marker's straightening the peg. Well, one of the guys has been up and had a look at it and put his finger up that it's red. The jack's in. That must be 2 to red then. If it stayed on, there it is, it stayed on. If it had come out, it would have been 1 to green. Bad result for Darren, but then Gary played a really good ball to add another, so he's got his just reward. 7-all. That's what we were talking about. Keep it close for the last 2 ends.
And he's managed to get to this stage of the game now, where he's bang in this set now, and there'll be a lot of pressure on Darren.
Certainly will be. And the barracking will go up a notch or 2.
Well, as you heard in that last end, they've just started to get a bit more vocal. This is why I think it makes this game a lot more of a leveller, because if we're going to be honest, you'd probably know exactly how many ends each player's won, but Gary really has been battered in this match. He's got beaten 12-1 in the first set, and he's 7-1 in 7 apiece in this set. So he's been easily the second best player, but he's still banging the match.
Absolutely, he's won 5 ends out of 14.
There you go. That says it all.
Darren Burnett's picked up 2s and 3s with the exception of 1 end when he scored a single. So he's been getting multiples.
Yeah. Gary's dropped the jack a bit short this time, isn't he?
Yes, but he's corrected with this one.
A bit too...
Oh, he's close. Very close. Needs it to drop. I'm surprised it didn't. This is the Crown using all the armoury that they have available to them as well. The crowd being
definitely.
probably one of the strongest ones, or strongest tools in that armoury, because they have to try and put the flat green off in some way.
Now they're starting to heckle.
No, then, he says. There's one particular guy out there whose voice seems to carry quite a lot.
And that could be Mr. Buckley.
Was that the one with the tray of 6 pints? I
think he, yeah.
On the 2-for-1 at lunchtime.
I think he's carrying a drop of alcohol, yeah.
Well, there's pressure pressure on. You know, it's same in all these sort of mixed events. We haven't had them for a long time, but you have to stand up and be counted
No, Gary thinks he's too far here.
for that distance. Yeah, too wide. I'm surprised. Why did he not play just the same bowl again? Because I could see he's probably trying to draw onto the green one, but he could have played that on the forehand just to make sure of the shot. You know, it's one shot he's aiming for here. It doesn't really matter if he scores, you know, from this point of view. He still has to win the last end no matter what.
Well, I think he's thinking if he can get 2 at this end, he can afford to lose 1 on the last end.
He's got a bit of a buffer, but he has to score.
Yeah, he's got to score. He's got to.
You have to make sure you're scoring. That's the important bit, is to make sure you're getting the shot. And you're so close in the forehand of the previous ball, I would have followed that down.
Darren immediately didn't like the look of this.
Oh, that means he's usually close if he's walking up. That would be his normal. Yep, there it is. That's the sort of shot I thought Gary would have been playing. Just resting his own ball and coming in behind. Now he has to attack this.
He's not going to, though.
Oh no. Goodness me, this is a hard shot.
It's gone plenty wide enough. Will it come in from there?
Well, we were surprised the last end, so he's going to have the weight to carry it, but why is it backhand trails were 3? There's no respect for reputations like there, is there?
No, none whatsoever.
You might be the world champion, you might be the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, but that doesn't matter.
It's gone out the window this afternoon.
That really doesn't matter. We're still going to get into you no matter what they're saying. That was a very good ball, that third delivery by Darren. It just took all the pressure off him.
Possibly the ball that you said that Gary maybe should have been playing himself.
Yeah, he's made 2 tactical mistakes in this end. Didn't play the shot on the third ball and then played the wrong shot in the backhand. He should have been playing the backhand with his last delivery.
That was a bit of a let-off there from Darren, though. Wouldn't you expect him to make 3 there?
He should have made the spare. Really should have.
If he gets 3 there, it's extremely unlikely that Gary's going to get 4 at this next end. Whereas with him only having 2, Gary's still half a chance of maybe getting 3.
Yeah, it's half a chance. You really think that a 2's possible, a 3's outside, and a 4 is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So Darren will be annoyed at himself that he didn't make that one. Well, our score's showing 9-8. It's not really, it's 9-7. But we'll get that fixed in a moment for you. Okay, we'll take a 9-8 though.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he would have done, yeah. Good lead from Darren there. Back at his favoured length.
Well, we're just getting the score checked there. Actually, I think there might have been an error on the card earlier in the set. I think one end where there was a 2, we thought it might have been a 3. But we're getting that checked now.
Oh, unlucky there, Gary.
Hopefully before too many balls arrive, because it's quite important at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. Need to get that checked.
Either way, Darren will be looking to score just to make sure. Certainly won't want to leave Gary the opportunity with his last ball to win the set. Good starters.
Will he get him from there?
Only with good weight. So he's making centre line okay. Just 3 feet over. Well, the back position's building now for Gary Ellis, and it just shows like he's really played some very good balls in the second set. And he's developed his game out of a 12-1 defeat in the first set.
He's played a great set here, Gary has, to be fair.
Yeah, he's matched Darren all the way. Played some nice conversion shots as well. I think there might be a few of your boys interested in getting involved in the flat at the professional level. The PBA, just probably worth a few weeks of your time.
I definitely think there's a good handful of us that are all very keen to have a go at that at some stage. So I would imagine definitely next year that quite a few of us are going to have a go at that.
We've just been informed that the scoreboard on the screen is correct. There was an error earlier in the set where they put in a 2 instead of a 3, so it's totally different really in this last end. It's now 9-8. Apologise for that.
Would you maybe nominate to kill the end here? Or
He can do that. That's the change in the rules for this event. You can kill each set if you really want to. He's got a strong enough drive to bury it in the backboard. I think you've tried to do that a couple of times already in practice. There's a couple of very bad bumps back there.
I'll have to take ownership for them, to be fair.
And a couple of dents in the back. That's the metal backboards, of course, and the poly ones are easy to fix. We'll get that sorted for the next time. But these are stainless steel, and
can only apologise about that.
yeah. I think the tournament director was horrified. There you go. You can see it above it there at the bottom of the screen. 2 big dents underneath the camera. There you go. Courtesy of my co-commentator today. Thank you for leaving your mark. Well, 1 out. Now, Darren, you have a bit of thinking to do here, because that offers up another opportunity.
If he doesn't make 2 here, then Gary can obviously try and sit that ball for 2 that he needs to win the set. But if he makes another and pairs up, do you think Gary will kill the end again?
He'll have to go again.
Again?
Yeah, have to. The big ball here for Darren, because if he doesn't get in that resting of the green ball or turn of the jack, that's really a heavy draw, we would call. And over this distance, the ball will get back from a wide line, so you've got 2 chances. You don't have to drive at the small target of the jack.
Does that a lot, Darren, doesn't he? Looks down,
Yeah, he
looks
does.
frustrated when he lets the ball go, and then they all go next to the jack.
You can't read Darren.
No,
we found this out a long time ago.
I have noticed.
But he's pushed it off, and well, Gary
just made one, isn't it?
It's only the one. Rest the ball off, turn the jack for the set. Oh, he's going for it. He must have the back position. Oh, he's too wide. Well, Darren Burnett, the world champion, gets over the line. Not much to spare. 2 shots at 10-8 in the second set. Won the first set comfortably, 12-1. But a very good comeback from Gary Ellis, I have to say, in that second set. He was good value. Scored in 4 ends out of the 5. The last end was just the difference, so that 1 shot there. But he definitely performed, Calum. There's no doubt about that. And we know why now. He's such a good player.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Darren's class and the reason why he's world champion came shining through there. I thought Gary made a real good account of himself in that second set and played a fantastic set, to be fair. But Darren was really classy there at stages. In that first set, he strung quite a few fantastic ends together. Well,
the next one's going to be interesting. We've got Paul Foster, the world number 1. He's up against Wayne Ditchfield, the beast from Blackpool. Paul Foster, well, it's going to be hard to get past that man, there's no doubt about it. But Wayne Ditchfield's a young, exciting player from Blackpool. It's his carpet, although he's crown green. Join us in 10 minutes.
you're all nice and ready.
So what was she saying?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. So let's bring on your next match. And from the Crown side, ladies and gentlemen, current British Isles indoor junior champion, believe it or not, and is a rising star on the Crown Green circuit. Let's bring it on for the beast, Wayne Ditchfield. And up against him, ladies and gentlemen, he's world ranked at #1. 4 world indoor titles for the World Championships, and just recently from the Commonwealth Games with a gold medal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Paul Fozzie Foster.
Match ahead of us here. Wayne, the Beast Ditchfield. I love the names that they use on the Crown, but he is a big lad, and he's obviously quite happy with that moniker that's been attached to him.
Yeah, he's known throughout the Crown Green world as the Beast, and he has a few T-shirts with the Beast on the back. So yeah, he embraces it.
Well, he's got his work cut out today against the 4 times world champion Paul Foster. Hot off the Commonwealth Games, where he won 2 gold medals for Scotland in the pairs and 4s. But the thing about this game is that Wayne also plays the flat. He's also won the British Isles under 25s on the flat indoors. And of course this is his home club, so that will help him considerably. Having said that, Paul Foster's a very hot favourite, and that's the reason why.
It's not a bad start, isn't it? Yeah, talking to Wayne before, and he thought the tactics might be that Paul shortened him right down.
Always does.
Yeah.
That's normal for Paul.
Yeah.
But only when he's in trouble. He'll be quite happy to play a length. Doesn't matter what length that is. If he's getting in and scoring, he won't change it. There's no need to. But if he feels the opposition is starting to get too comfortable, or starting to score against him, he gets hold of the jack, he'll go to the minimum 23, 24. That's what he'll go. That would be the normal for Paul. He's very, very good at the short jack length on a reasonably fast surface. He's even better when the surface is screaming. Faster it is for him, the better it is. But the portable rink plays a lot quicker than this, and you don't get to be such a good player as Paul Foster around the world unless you can adapt. And he obviously adapts to the outdoor as well.
There's one I was listening to,
which is what?
Excellent player.
12 seconds out there in Glasgow, and he's able to play up at 17 on the portable rink. We're going to find too many weaknesses, are we?
No.
Good effort by Wayne. Just running through. Close again. Oh dear me. No, this is the first end. Interesting to see how Paul handles the Crown guys, because he's he's fairly straight on the green. You know, I played against Paul a few times, and he's fairly straight. He'll chat away to you, no problems at all, and very relaxed, very professional. But wouldn't normally get involved with the crowd.
No. There were a few comments the first game, and Paul was watching. I was sat next to him, and he just kind of had a wry smile. And I'm not sure whether it was disapproval, but
Well, he knows what he's in for.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, and I think Darren did as well.
Yeah.
But as I was saying in commentary, you know, Darren's a policeman. I'm sure Saturday night in the local town centre, he's had more than what he's getting out there.
I think young Connor seemed to embrace it yesterday. We were watching him, and he seemed to love it.
Yeah, he's young. And the joy of being 18.
Yeah.
Crown guys, well, they're not too concerned about world reputations or anything else. They'll just get into you no matter what. And that's fine. Yeah, it's all part of this particular tournament. If you don't like it or can't cope with it, then you don't need to be here.
Yeah. To be fair, I think most of these flat green players have they've come to expect it.
Yes.
As they're about to step onto the green, so it's not anything they're not expecting. And
I think Paul did the right thing by sitting out and listening to it all.
Yeah.
He knows what he's in for. If Wayne gets going. Because it was a bit quiet out there when Gary was struggling in that first set, the previous match.
Wayne actually said to me, he said, I hope I don't go 10-0 down.
Yeah, because
and I said, yeah, me too. Yeah.
It was all very, very quiet, and we weren't hearing anything, and I thought, this is the only way to silence the crowd. Second set was different.
Yeah, I mean, the first set, Darren, was fantastic, to be fair. Gary didn't do a great deal wrong, and yeah, you're 10-0 down. But if Wayne, starts scoring a couple, he'll get his confidence up. He's a very, very good player. But again, you're playing a world champion. It's a hard task.
Yep. It's hard enough to play at the best of times, Paul. Especially when he starts getting his weight right. Doesn't have too many bad ones. Thing is, even when he plays poorly, he's still more than capable of winning. Like all champions are, it doesn't matter what the code. I'm sure you've been out there as well, Simon, and been struggling.
Yep.
And still won.
Yep.
You know, you rely on your experience against your opposition just to get
I
over the line.
I think more so Gary Ellis, they tend to say this year with the Waterloo, he's won it for the 5th time, and a lot of his friends and fans said he didn't play well, but he won.
Sometimes you don't need to.
Yeah, play as well as you need to sometimes.
It's quite often I say to the young guys when I'm playing with them, against them at home, I say, look, I don't care if it's pretty. You know, if you have to be a bit down and dirty on the match in terms of playing with 1 or 2 balls out of 4, don't worry about it. Just win. 'Cause that's what goes on the scorecard. You can play in lovely matches and beautiful to watch, and everybody comes off saying how wonderful it was and how well you played, but if you lose, you don't progress.
Yeah.
On the short side, and Wayne might be tempted to listen to forehand now. Draw the ball off the jack. Big advantage for him is he knows the rink.
Well, he does, but he was saying to one of the locals that it has changed slightly this last 3 or 4 days with putting the advertising hoardings out, and maybe the temperature difference when they've had the doors open a little bit. And saying it wasn't bending in one way like it used to, so I don't think the home rink's that much of an advantage to Wayne.
Yeah, I've seen a few guys changing their bowls even after practice or even after one match. They're going to the swinger bowl. That won't matter to Paul Foster. He always uses swinging bowls. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I like him as a player as well, because he doesn't go like a lot of people do, fishing for the straight line bowls. And it's more of a pure game when you're swinging in like that. But the top players, the vast majority of them, play with swinging bowls. Interesting choice here, because they're trying to drop around the short stuff. Should bend back. Taylor Ace he's using? Hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what they are. I think they're quite. That's a decent size. Are they size 5? I think
Yeah,
the players are?
they'll be about normal. A lot of the guys in the flat play are
Yeah.
size 5. More and more dropping down to 4, but that's more to do with the new style of bowls as well. They're keeping the extra weight in there, but just prefer it. Paul attacking. Chance off his own bowl. Oh, he's got the big gap. Jack was no good to him. Yeah, that's the one thing he didn't want to get. Was the jack. That's going to cost him 2 more shots. I'll lose a 4 here. Here we go. Wayne. 1 speed. You cannot hurry the man. I quite like it actually, in some ways. You know,
You know what you're gonna get. That's
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. That's why I quite like it.
No
you know, sort of
surprises.
think, well, you know, he's never going to get faster, so he takes away that possibility of changing the pattern of the game. You can't slow it down any more than what it is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like he wants to pick it up in any way, so you know exactly what you're going to get, as you say. And I don't mind that.
No.
It's whenever players start playing quick and fast and quick that you start thinking, hang on a minute, what the heck's going on here? Well, you know they're tinkering with the game then. Wayne doesn't tinker with the game because he doesn't have any more than 1 speed. So it's good, you know, I do like that, you know.
Well, they'll be over the moon, will Wayne, with the counter 4 the second end. That'll really settle him down.
Don't get too many 4s against this man.
No.
So, you know, Darren survived the pressure and the sweat of the last set in the previous match, and it'll be interesting to see if Wayne can stick with Paul to be in the same position. See how Paul survives it.
Wobble!
I have to say, though, all credit to the top players in both codes. You're in a situation of putting yourself on the line, the expectation of the flat, having to win, and the potential of getting an absolute slaughtering from a Crown point of view.
Yeah.
And you know, it's great that we're able to do that. And okay, you know, it's a limited field. There's qualifiers, there's a few invitations, and the best of both codes will not always be here.
No.
As well. You know, we've got Alex Marshall sitting, you know, at home, Greg Harlow, Andy Thompson, you know, all sitting, Robert Paxton, others that are all sitting at home that are not here. And it'll be the same for you. You're going to have guys that are very much at the top of Crown that are not here, but hopefully that will change over time, and they'll get their chance next year or the year after, depending if the event goes well and can be expanded. I think that's the whole idea. So I always say to people, don't be too disappointed about things. It's not a slight on the fact that you're not here. It's just that, you know, we have to spread it about, and next time you probably will be.
Yeah.
And so on. That's where ranking systems come in very useful.
Yeah, we don't really have a ranking system within the Crown Green. I mean, it's generally noted that Gary's kind of number 1, possibly G.I. Wilson number 2, and Graham's not one that's here. I know there's been a lot of controversy about that, but because he does play a little bit of indoor stuff as well, does Graham. So I know there's a lot of people disappointed he didn't get invited to that, but that's another story, David.
Well, you can't always do it. You know, I got invited twice, couldn't make it in the Superbowl, and then the third time I was in Australia, and the third time it happened, they said you have to qualify.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, well, you know, I was out of the country for two years. I couldn't play in it, and that's just the nature of it. It just happens. Paul's looking just to drop around the short bowl. Not going to stop in time. You know, this is the days of the social media, and that makes it different because the message gets out there for lots of people. But in behind it all, I don't need to worry. Everybody is good enough. Hopefully we'll get a chance. Trouble is, when they're out there for an hour or so against somebody who's playing well against them, they might wish they weren't given that chance.
Yeah, I'm sure Gary at 10-0 down was thinking, what am I doing here? You know, but every credit to him. The second set, I thought he played fantastic and really showed his mettle and dug in.
And he was a lot more aggressive in the second set, which he needed to be.
But you know, it's one of those. You know, you're on hard into nothing in a way, because he doesn't ever play the flat green game. But I think he showed it. You know, his second set, he gave it a real good go.
He certainly did. Paul him with a chance for the double now with the spare shot, Wayne just missing that on the forehand. But again, you know, forehand shot there for Wayne. How on earth was he only get the shot?
Yeah.
It was a backhand opportunity.
Onto his own, maybe.
Onto his own.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slight bit of tactics where the inexperience comes through. Just the one. Paul missed a chance. When you think about how long these guys have been around, you know, Wayne Ditchfield at 23, Paul won his first title in 98.
Yeah.
First world title in 98.
And Wayne's literally only just started playing the flat the last 2 years, I think, really.
Like, that's a fair bit of time ago. So it is. You look at 16 years ago when he won his first title. In fact, he won the Scottish that year and the British Isles. Got to the final of the UK's and won the Worlds. You know, it was a big year for him. He was a young man. It was a very big year. And he's still right at the top now at world number 1.
And that's not easy to do, David, keeping yourself at the top for that amount of time. It's easy to have an off season and just lose a bit of interest, a little bit of form sometimes goes, but every credit for staying the distance.
Yes, he's got a history behind him now. It's like a lot of actors and other people, Flash in the Pan for him for 3 years, but he's been there a long time. He's got the MBE to show it as well. You know, he's been recognised at that level for his contribution as a player to the sport, and a successful player to the sport, and that's important. Very good, well done. Good ball there. Now Wayne, pop another one in. Yeah, I do like to see that. I really do. People have got a long history and keeping at it for a long time, even through. In fact, Paul was married and a couple of kids. You know, it's when you have 2 or 3 children, it's
that's when it becomes difficult. Yeah.
So it's they certainly put an awful lot into it. There's no doubt about that, and massive commitment. Especially when you say to your wife, you're away again. But Pamela gives him a lot of support. That helps. Just under it in terms of line. Weight was good. Next one will be arriving. So think about this when you need something behind the jack. He's certainly on the wide line. Has he got the weight to carry it? He's good with this, I think. Oh, that's a beauty. It's not another shot, but that is a crackingly good ball. Short jack length.
Yeah, we said, didn't we? We said he'd be playing this kind of a distance pole.
Yeah, Wayne's matched him until the last one by the looks of it. That's going to drop in. It's going to be close for shot. He's got a chance with this. Drop in off the ball. Jack. Oh, yes.
What a good ball. What a good ball.
Really played it well. Sorry if we're just a little bit out of focus at the moment, folks. A bit of a technical hitch. We're trying to work on it and get it sorted out. A few boys getting into it now. Looked like it was 2 to win. Just to get the score checked.
And that was a typical ball from Wayne that you'd expect him to have played as a crown green player, but as a flat green player. A crown greener might have just decided to let fly and
that was a
see
flat
what
green
happens.
shot.
But it's a proper ball, that one.
Yeah, that was a real flat green effort, and played it very well, I have to say.
Yeah, and I think Wayne will be playing more of those type of shots than probably the rest of the crown green bowlers, because he's confident of doing it. I think that's what it comes down to, David. Confidence of what shot you fancy.
The score will be adjusted in a moment. That was 2 to Wayne Ditchfield, so he's sitting nicely at 6-3 after 4 ends. 2 sets of 9 ends, of course, with a 3-end tie break to separate the players, which we haven't seen too many of, but we'd quite like to see 1 or 2 of those coming up. There's the calling going on now to get the ball up. Not too shy about it, are they?
No, they'll let him know if it's showing, that's for sure. It's I think they are trying to encourage him. Wayne knows all the crown green crowd, so he'll take it well. We think.
I don't think there's much choice, is there?
Well, big shot coming up now for Wayne. Needs to get one in here, I think. Otherwise, you're probably going to be 6 apiece.
Particularly easy. There's an open draw available. It's all down to weight if he can get back. It's looking like he's giving it a good effort.
What a good ball. What a good ball.
Not only that, but it stopped and fell back. It's still available for Paul Foster to ease out, but Wayne couldn't do much more than what he has done with that particular ball. The pressure on Paul Foster here. Might decide to play it just inside with a little bit of weight. He's got a good swinging ball. Here it comes. Needs to get past the front one. Oh, he's got the edge.
Lead on the beast. Lead on the beast.
Once away. Or the beast, as they call him.
Say, dark night in Blackpool. He walks around the corner, he's a big boy. A gentle giant, you would say.
Going back to the 4 that Wayne got at the second end, just wonder whether that was really the right ball for Paul Foster to have played at that stage of the game. You know, perhaps he didn't see the danger. Well, we could see it. You know, any nick on the jack that way, and it was going to be 3 and an easy 4.
Yeah, he probably did see the danger. I think he was just. He probably felt he could play for the jack, but he was really aiming for the inside for the balls, and the ball just stood up a little bit more than what he expected. That early in the game, he's probably thinking, I'm a couple up, I'll take a risk on the second, and he certainly won't do it in the 6th or 7th time.
I just think, you know, something like that, it really does, knowing Wayne so well, it really does give him confidence, something like that. And any type of risk, I wouldn't have been playing it myself, kind of thing, but obviously Paul knows a lot more shots than I do, but I'd have probably just kept it a little bit tighter, maybe, you know, the first 2 or 3 ends.
Starting the game, he's probably prepared to do it, but knowing that he had 6, 7 ends to pass it by, the thing is, he's been hit with a double and a single.
Playing well.
And get that first ball on the jack. It's going to cause problems no matter who you're playing against. Just going past. Second ball. Paul, there's a single here, 3 ends, 5 shots behind. Won't be too happy about it.
No. Well, they've not been expecting this, I don't think.
Well, it's really just that one end. Paul's played well, but not one error. And so has Wayne. He's put a lot of good balls in. Took advantage of the 4. Responded, I think, very quickly in that he only lost a single the next end, which that's really vital. And come back hard in the next one to score the double. There's another one. It might be time for Paul to think about this. He'd be very unlucky to take his own ball out without taking something else out. He's attacking it. The backhand is in some ways not very appetizing because he could take his own ball out in the backhand. It's readily available. But to do that, he almost certainly will get into 1 or 2 of the other reds. So it's probably worth it. The forehand, it's more of a single ball target. So it's a percentage backhand weight shot, or just try to draw the ball off. Now he's going for the draw to try and drop on the back one and fall back for the number 1 shot. Mustn't fancy the weight that's available. This is very close. Look at this. Oh, there's the touch. He got the edge on the front one and took him away from it. I thought he had a clean jack. Second shot. That looked good all the way. Can't be too shy about things when you've got a nickname called the Beast. He has to expect to get a bit of grief every now and again, I would have thought.
Yeah, he kind of brings it on a little bit as well, and I think he rises to the occasion when.
Secretly, he loves it.
Yeah, that's what
that's really what we're saying.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Well, a little chance here in the forehand. Rest the green ball down for 3. And he's very close. Just hasn't got the weight. Let's see what Paul does here, because the same sort of ball doesn't guarantee the shot. The drive, well, ball on the jack, push it right through. Might get it. He's got the best back ball. He's got one side covered. but not the other. Anderson choice. His strength is on the draw, but he is a good driver. But he's only the one down. He would be best maybe to try and think about nicking the ball off from the backhand on a runner.
Yeah, it's a difficult shot, isn't it, really?
There's certainly nothing easy about it, let's put it that way. Oh, he's trying to draw it here, is he? Nope. Controlled weight, trying to get on the edge of the red ball. He could take his own here.
He's not far off, you know.
Oh, he got it on the neck. What a beauty. Well, that's a shot I thought he would play, but I thought he would play it on the other side because of the danger of taking his own ball out, but that was a cracking
That
ball.
was a great ball. Yeah,
Really
that
was.
really was a great ball.
That could be the key ball in this set. Massive difference between 8-3 and 7-4. It's in the context of the match with 3 ends to go.
Yeah, 3 ends to go. It's anyone's set, isn't it?
On the 3-meter tee mark, let's see where the mat is. It's well up the green. Short jack length.
Very good start.
How brave are you? Traditional flat green response from a Crown player. I think of a few flat green guys that would have been taking that off. A few guys that I think would really like to enjoy this, people like Stuart Anderson from Scotland, really talented boy, won the World Singles, and he's just a very good player. I think he would embrace this sort of banter as well with the crowd and be one of those players that would enjoy the challenge, let's put it that way.
Just caught weighing out a little bit, isn't he, on this shorter distance.
Can't afford a weak one weekend, and he will be in trouble. Any weakness at all, Paul will lift a 3 or a 4, and if you're, well, he hasn't drawn close. He's 3 up. He wants to keep it nice and tight. This is better. This is far better. He wants to miss the jack with this one and drop back. That secures a good second. If it drops, it's almost impossible for Paul to develop an
Drop
There
in.
it goes. Well, Paul knows that he's not going to be able to do much with this. Really good effort, but he knew that it was going to be very difficult to develop that. Whereas in fact, if anything, Wayne's got a better chance now. Touch the jack or turn the ball off for 2. He could virtually win the set with this ball. Is that him coming up or going back?
I think he's going back.
Yep, he's had a peep at it. He knows very similar ball as last. We'll do it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be too aggressive, does he? Just a nice little trail on the jack of the ball.
Needs to hurry. Yeah, he hasn't got to wait. That was a chance. That was a chance to win. I think you don't get a chance to win the set against Paul Foster very often.
No.
And when it peeps its little head up over the fence, you think, I'm going to have a bit of that.
Yeah. You've got to take your chance while you can,
Yeah.
maybe. But it's
Yeah.
still he's 7-5, and there's only 2 ends to go. So
Yeah.
you know, he perhaps didn't want to do anything silly, and perhaps spring the jack and maybe get 2 behind, 2 down rather at that end.
You have to get them out, show them it in that situation. You really do. You know, you have to get the ball out and say, right, I want to win this. I'm not going to be too negative because it may not crop up again. And although he's playing well enough to win the set, there's no doubt about that. He's put Paul Foster under a fair bit of pressure.
Telling it to run.
First 2 balls, the last end were poor. He wants to make sure he doesn't start getting into the sort of yard-itis, as we call it. Dropping everything a yard short. Change. Play the open side. Looks like he's slightly on the inside line, which means he's making sure he's arriving to the jack. Yep, that's what he was doing.
That was a good ball.
It's a good way to play this sort of carpet, that sort of half bowl inside the line, because if you've got that extra weight, you're going to just drop away a little bit. There's a chance of reaching the jack or the bowl. Paul looks to me like he's trying something similar on the inside line. Just going to make the gap, but he's got a back bowl position now. Now Wayne, leave this, play the forehand. Think about it, it's a forehand shot. He's on the backhand. Still there in the backhand, but he has to be very accurate with it. Doesn't want to fill that hole. Paul Foster will use that.
He's maybe thinking if he's slightly short, it'll be in the way for Paul. But
the forehand, if you look at that the way it's sitting down, the forehand turn the red ball in, gets it closer, misses it, gets good position, and possibly draws another shot. You know, he's setting up a lovely position on the forehand to potentially win the set this end. He's left that opportunity for Paul Foster now to drag that jack back or to come inside and ease the red ball out of the head. Chance on the forehand too, bowl on the bowl, but I don't fancy that too much.
No, it's a harder shot that one, isn't it? But is it full?
Big ball here for Paul. Yep, he knows if he gets past that front red one, he's in with a shout. As soon as he gets past that, he's in with a shout. Wow. Oh. He'll put his hand up on that one. Can't say much about that, can we?
No.
He knew if he got past that front red, he was onto the shot bowl. 2 wicks and the shot.
To be fair, he was in the vicinity. It wasn't a total fluke off a yard ball. It was in the area, but a bit lucky, should we say?
In the context of the match, it was very fortunate.
Yeah, especially at this stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
8th end.
He was probably only 2 inches short of getting the ball out, which is what he wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think with that weight he was particularly looking for the jack. It was a second option.
Now what's Wayne going to do here?
Forehand inside the line, little bit of weight, trying to ease the green ball out. There's a red ball, another green ball lurking back there. So he has to get it nice and clean. Oh, I don't know if that's enough. Might be. You have to wait and see. Paul's looking at it. The ball probably dropped into the ditch, but it is a toucher. I was pretty sure there was a green ball lurking back there somewhere. too far away, the other green. There it is at the back.
Well, we'll find out in a minute.
Tell you what, this is a very important measure. Three up, or oh, look at that.
That's it easy.
To the green. Yep, to the green. That was very unlucky. He was one against him, and he ended up a second one.
Still, at the start of this match, if you'd have said you'd be going into the last end of the first set level, I think you'd have took it.
Oh, he'd take it. There's no doubt
But
about
you
that.
know, the way it's kind of panned out, he'd be finding it's a little bit unlucky to be 7-7-all.
I can't imagine any flat green player in the top 16 who wouldn't take that.
Yeah.
Against Paul, they'd turn around and say, I'll take it for the one-end shootout every time against Paul. But like I was saying the previous end, he had a chance to win it. And a little bit of tactics there just maybe caused him to lose that. A bit unlucky getting the jack instead of the bowl, but so you don't get many opportunities with Paul Foster. You have to really take them when they arise. But you can see, like, I'm almost treating him here as a flat green player, not as a crown, because he's playing flat green bowls really, tactically and everything else.
And the good thing is at this end, he's got the last ball.
Yes.
Good response.
Don't get much out of Wayne, do you, in terms of emotion?
No, he's good concentration. Just plays his own game.
Chance missed. I expect Paul to be a lot closer with this one.
Yeah, big ball this one really. I think he's had two tries, and like you say, I think this third one will be a lot closer.
Still struggling though. Drops it down, it would be, but it might still be one to red. Some guy down there making a lot of strange noises.
Yeah, I think that's a mate of Gary Ellis's.
Some of the crowd at the back there, Nicky Brett and Billy Jackson, just having a bit of a laugh about things. Where's this guy from?
He's actually a very good player. He's actually won the Waterloo himself.
Has he really?
Yeah, but he can be quite loud.
There you go. That's the winner. It's a set lie. Fozzie's in trouble here.
Now, what do you think he'll do now?
Well, the thing is that he has to remember he's allowed to burn it for a start, because that wouldn't be the case normally. So I wonder, has he remembered that? There's nothing on the front of the head in terms of pushing in.
No.
Everything's breaking away from it. So it's either a full drive or a draw to within 3 inches. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see him to try and draw, to be honest, because he's done that so often in the past. Yeah, there you go. The confidence of the player.
I think it's a...
Don't think he's up though.
No, it's a hard shot to play.
It was a hard shot to play, to be fair. But
especially with the crowd. Even more so maybe. You know.
Paul is sort of player that will take on the draw almost every time. He's got that confidence in his own game, but just fell short on this occasion. And the first set in this event to go to the crown green player.
Yeah, well done, Way.
Absolutely. And the fact is, whether this is his home rink or not, and he does play flat green, he was playing outdoor crown at the weekend and did very well.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah,
you
and,
cannot argue about this.
Beat me in a final, David. on
Well,
Friday.
I just thought I would remind you of that.
Thanks for that one.
I
Yeah.
didn't want you to forget. So
I just
his
wanted,
hero.
yeah,
he beat his
well,
hero
yeah,
in the
right.
final.
I don't know about that. I just wanted to boost his confidence for this tournament.
I think he's written it down actually on his profile and handwritten, you know. Noah Burrows used to be my hero. Steve Cowper, or Simon Cowper is now. Because I've beaten him. But it's a tremendous, shows tremendous ability to move from something like the crown across into the flat and play well.
And you see his delivery. It's I think it's very much a flat green delivery when he's playing the flat green, whereas the crown green is kind of a decent stride forward. Wayne's very, very relaxed and just sat on the mat and no look. It's mainly arm.
Well, it's all a wee flick, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's got a very, very good touch.
In the crown, I would imagine that he's probably got a big backswing and a step forward.
Yeah, he's different. He's a strong lad.
Because he just lets the ball.
He's literally hardly looks like he's sending them. You know, he has got one of the
wrong side.
You know, he's got one of the smoothest deliveries in the game. That's why he wins so much.
Just a little tap on it. Yep. Just narrows the target down a little bit. Big thing now for Wayne is to make sure he gets away in a steady first 2-3 ends. Doesn't go chasing things and just keep it nice and tight.
That's what he's done on it. You know, we've seen a few, you know, wayward first balls, maybe a wayward second, but his third's always been roundabout. He's tried to keep Paul to ones, which is good play. It's those 2s and 3s that are just the killers. That the crown lads, you know, one bad end, you're 3 or 4 down, and Wayne's better than that. He's very steady at this game.
Well, tactically, he's a bit more aware maybe as well, because he does place quite a lot of indoor flat green stuff.
And to be fair, this is the first time I've actually seen Wayne play the flat green, but he is rated very, very highly around these parts, that's for sure.
Ball looking for an edge, didn't get it, dropped through. No sense in Wayne playing anything silly here, because just draw it. He could go running and looking for the ball, end up taking his own 2 out and lose a count.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
Think of what Paul did the last time. You know, in the second end, he went chasing something that went wrong, and he gets a flick of the jack there. He's 4 down.
Exactly.
Just a draw, really.
You know, you're not too bothered with conceding one the first and the second set. It's not a disaster.
Still thinking about it. That's a danger. You're still thinking about it. Very sensible. There was that sort of natural aggressive play of the crown green. He's put that to the back of his mind. Said 1 shot will do. I'll not worry about it.
Yeah, no regrets really. It's one down wasn't a bad result from that. The way it was sat, it wasn't a bad result for him.
It's time for Paul to mess around with the jack length a bit. Take that mat up as far as he can and throw in a couple of 23s and a 25 and a 27.
I mean, there must be, slightly added pressure on Paul. I know he's, he beats virtually everybody all the time, but he is the world #1. He is playing pretty much a crown green player. and he's expected to win. But then again, he'll have in the back of his mind Wayne does play a bit of flat, and Wayne does know this rink. So
yes, but I'd be saying that if a flat green indoor player had to go and play Crown Green last weekend, he would be saying he was coming in here in a weak way, not prepared.
yeah,
So Wayne was there playing the weekend, obviously played more than one match. So
yeah.
you can't argue with that.
No, no.
You come into the middle of October and you're sort of saying he's back on the flat and he's playing well. He's still a Crown Green player, and that's it.
He did play very well with the Crown Green game the other Friday night. Won 21-1 in the semi-final.
Really? Wow.
Against a decent player, and you can see he's got a great touch. He's playing very, very well.
For such a big guy, he's got a very gentle touch.
Lovely delivery. It's just
Paul
effortless.
About here. Get it out into the open. He's right on the middle ball. There it goes. Well, the ball went with it. If it stayed on, it's a different matter. I think it has. I didn't hear any drop. Don't think it was a toucher. So it's not going to be easy to beat when you come down to your last ball. So we'll get a look at it here if we can. Not past the beast, we're not. There we go. Very calm to me. Doesn't look to me as if he feels under any sort of pressure.
It was funny. He said to me he felt a bit nervous in the doubles last night, which is like unusual. But maybe you don't want to let somebody else down. That's a slightly different game. And
Connor with him, who was playing very well the game before. There's another one in. That's a very good ball. Depends how far they are away from the ditch. Paul might be tempted to run the two of them, just for damage limitation, if nothing else, but we can't tell how close it is. Looks to me like he's playing a little bit. Oh, he's outside line, so he must be trying to draw it. Tell you what, this is a toughie. Yeah, that dropped in. Nope, didn't. Stayed on. Oh, can't believe that. There must be more room than we can see.
That is literally on the edge.
The problem for Wayne is now, oh well, he's getting lots of advice there.
Is he got second and third shot? Can he?
He's got second and third, but they're so close together.
Yeah. Don't want to
that if he takes the two of them off, he needs to have fourth shot. Now, if he's got second, third, and fourth, just drive it, take it out on the edge.
You might just play like a couple of yards through, maybe on the forehand, maybe to try and take it off.
Well, that or ball on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like he's playing that, trying to get the ball on the ball. Oh, it's got a bit of work to do to get down from there. He might need a bit of help off the edge. Yeah. He needed to make the gap. He was looking actually through the gap to get the ball. That was a very good escape for Paul Foster.
It's a very good ball, that. Big sigh of relief from Paul. Then he knew he was close to going off the rink. Then
I think he was walking up with the mat there, thinking, "Oh, why am I here, suffering this?"
And if that had dropped off, it'd have been three down with that.
Oh, absolutely, 3 down.
Real pressure then.
We said in the previous match that Paul Foster was very high odds-on favourite. Might be a few boys getting a few pounds on Wayne in this match. At the moment, that's looking like a pretty good bet.
I think he was 11-2. Somebody were telling me or something like that.
Yeah, 11-2. I think he was even better than that a few days ago.
That's a good ball.
Paul be used to this. We quite often, through the years, you go to various clubs to play against their home player, and one I was at a long time ago, and there's a lot of people there, a lot of people turned up to watch. Didn't clap one of my goals. Opposition, anything within a yard, even whether there was 3 against them, they were cheering and stomping and getting on, and you sort of quietly smile to yourself, you know, this is the way it's going to be.
Makes you try a little bit hard.
Stirs you up a little bit. You know, they don't realise that, but it does stir you up a little bit if you're of that mind, and you don't let it affect you. But it's one of those things that you just have to accept. You can't fight against it because it's going to happen too often.
Yeah.
So you embrace it and say, bring it on. Now Fuzzy, just over the weight. Yep, not much. Wayne's got a little chance here to rest either side. Doesn't matter which way he wants to play it. Whatever he's more comfortable on.
Yeah, I thought he'd go on the forehand. I think he's thinking even if he's too far, the trail on the jack's coming this side, isn't it? So a little bit of cover.
Yes, he wants the ball. He doesn't want on anywhere near the jack. That's what he wanted. The ball and drop back for the double.
Great ball. Great ball.
Come on.
He is.
Paul Foster's got 3 balls close there, and he's 2 down. Once he gets out of this match, he'll know he's certainly been in one. Bit of a missed opportunity for the Crown Green supporters, I think. They should have been here for this.
Yeah.
They could have wound Fuzzy up all directions, or at least tried to. He's getting it hard enough as it is with the way Wayne's playing. And
I
he is.
think the crowds should just stay as they are because Wayne's doing good enough, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the business, so to speak.
We don't want to fire Fuzzy up really, do we, anymore?
I've seen it before with Paul. He can react very strong in terms of that. He likes a wee bit of an edge that way, and you know, he can just buckle down, scratch out a win when you least expect it. Like all true champions, you know, we've all seen that before. Chance for the 3 though. This is the spare shot.
Just needs to.
Wow. Can't really blame him there, but I think I'd have been out in the high line, giving him a chance to drift back. Levels the scores though. Unusual for Paul, but he's nearly twice the age of Wayne. And when he thinks about that, he'll be thinking, I think I was getting on that much, and so on. They're coming up very rapidly behind you.
Yeah, even in the Crown Green world, there's a lot of good young players coming through, especially like the Warwick and Worcester lads. They're very, very good.
You get the guys in their 40s that are sort of looking over their shoulder.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think there's a few doing that, yeah. There's lads that are playing really beyond the years, they're playing really well. Greg Smith and Ryan Prosser and Ben Harris, they're very, very good players in Warwick and Worcester. Which is all good for the game, David. More and more youngsters. Better all round.
It keeps the growth going. That's why I think it's vital to have these sort of tournaments as well, where you've got that combination, and this is just the start of trying to bring back a fantastic tournament. It's branding of the Super Bowl with the sponsorship of Just Retirement. It's a nice combination, and hopefully that as a tournament will keep going, and we can build on it. Exposure for Crown against Black, it can only help both codes.
Yeah.
as well, and
He's certainly playing well. He's weighing.
it's always amazed me how the Super Bowl has kept its identity from back in the 80s all the way through to now, because people still recognise it as a major tournament and as a name of a tournament, and just retirement have come in, taken the risk on the sponsorship of it, and I think they'll benefit from it. Hopefully they will.
You know, I remember watching it years and years ago, David, when Noel Burroughs was obviously winning it. 85,
yeah.
And
Won it in 85,
it was a real big thing for the Crown Green world, even though it was a flat green game. A lot of Crown Green bowlers watched it. So they're watching the likes of Noel and Brian Duncan and Norman Fletcher as well. He was another Blackpool.
Norman was in there.
yeah.
I remember him. Davy Holt was in there.
So it was a real big thing for the Crown Green world to watch that. Try and pit the wits against the flat green man.
And that's why it's one of those things that you're sort of thinking someone's going to come along and sort of try and develop this and buy into it as a sponsor. I know Liverpool Victoria did very well in terms of their sponsorship. They wanted to continue to sponsor it, actually. They didn't pull out. And Granada wanted to keep going, but the syndication in ITV, the head of the syndication who said they didn't want it. But look at this, my goodness me.
He's playing awesome, he really is. I know he was disappointed the way he played last night in the Perth, but that is a totally different game. You're not into any rhythm. And he was playing at the back as well, so it was different shots. But
he was getting a lot of help from his lead. So he didn't need to do a lot. This is different. You know, he's having to step up here,
and he has done. He really has. I'm really chuffed for him. I know he was nervous, obviously, about playing Paul as well, but I'm really chuffed that he's playing well. He's done himself proud so far.
And Paul will be running into this. He'll not be even attempting to draw it. He should be playing right to it. He's going to lock in his own bowls as well. Needs to get down a little bit to get to the red bowl. Chance of the bowl on the jack. Well, took one out. Hasn't helped him in terms of where the bowl's finished. But there is still a split on. I think he's just about got the angle for the two bowls.
Yeah, funny enough, talking about the old Superbowl as it was. I was talking to Noel Burroughs a few years ago, and he was still telling me the tale when he won it. He was still delighted that he won it.
Fantastic.
I mean, it was a fantastic achievement, and you know, it's like nearly 30 years ago. But since he won it, but it was obviously still fond memories for Noel.
And went on to skip for England on the indoor flat as well.
That's right, yeah.
You know, that's what they want. David Holt doing very well in Australia. Won a gold for England on the flat outdoors. Commonwealth Games in Manchester. Needs to run just a little bit. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe stops the forehand in terms of the split for the two bowls. Backhand, well, he's got his own bowls there, but he could take those out. He's not careful. Although Paul, to be fair, is very much of the mind that he's very accurate, and anything down the inside on the backhand, he's guaranteed to take one off. Forehand will have to be quite hard. Well, he's decided against it because he could take his own two bowls out. This is a hard shot after playing the runner. Needs to run. Oh, look at this. Oh, what a bowl. Oh, well, the chap out there that's making the noise, I hope he's clapping very loudly, because you don't see that too often. That's a top-class bowl, that one. Wayne still scored a single, but a single's not an issue.
No, it's a good save of that.
It was a really good bowl to get that.
And I think that's the difference. The Crown Green wouldn't have been doing that.
No.
Not that it is maybe the right shot to have done it, but maybe just not enough confidence to play it.
I think Wayne might have tried it. Because
he
he plays here on this rink. But you're right, absolutely right about that. That's typical Paul. I've seen him do that time and time again when the shot's been a bit dangerous, a bit awkward, and he's had the confidence to try and draw it within 2 or 3 inches. But a single keeps the Crown man in front. Yes, it's nice to talk about them guys from there. Tony Poole was there as well in those days, and I remember Tony.
Yeah, I remember Tony.
Len Higginbottom.
Yeah, Len. Yeah.
Those guys were about, and very, very good players. Needs to come up a little bit more, I think. Ian's got the weight. Just a slight correction. He lets that ball go, and you'd think he was playing to a 23-metre jack length, or simply no, so short, and it literally just seems to pop out of his hand.
Another great ball.
First time I've had a real chance to watch him. I have seen him play. First time I've seen him play under a lot of pressure, and he's impressed me, I have to say. Some people at home would say that's not easy. To impress me when you do it, but I always say, look, it's when you're playing against the best. That's the time to impress people.
You know, he does play well under pressure. He's part of our county selection team, and wants to play number 1 away, which is usually like one of the hardest places to play. Doesn't care who he plays. Many a time you'll get the county picking their best player at number 1, knowing it'll still be Wayne and Wayne's. I'm not bothered. I'll play him. They want to try and beat me. Let them try and beat me, which is every credit to Wayne, because it's not easy when you're going away on a green you've never seen before. You know.
Yes, because the guys coming after him have got something to work from, whereas he's out there on his own trying to find it.
Yeah.
So that's brave stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
He's close again. Got the jack this time. Well, he's been a little bit unlucky as Jack travelled a bit further than what I thought. Brought it out into the open on the forehand for Paul. I thought it was going to stop about 6 or 8 inches away from the bowls, but
a bit of room. We'd probably expect Paul to get in there, but it's pressure. That's the thing. There's pressure. You know, he's facing 3 down, and he's already lost the first set. And he's 3-2 down in this set, so I'm sure he'll thrive on the pressure, Paul.
Normally does. Forehand draw or the backhand, a little punch shot into the 3 bowls. That's where the percentage shot is. Such an accurate drawer, though he prefers to play the draw. And we'll see it just come popping underneath the scorecard. This needs to hurry to make the length. Well, now, Wayne, you're in with a chance here, because if you put one down there in the forehand, drop it in 6 or 8 inches short of the jack on the line, Paul will be forced to play the little runner. The thing about a little runner in the backhand is you could take one away, but you'll fly off the head. You'll lose a 3. He's definitely on a decent line on this forehand. He needs to travel, though. Didn't have the weight to carry it. The line was lovely for what he wanted. That's probably going to put Paul off the backhand runner and just draw on the 4. Any adjustment at all in weight, he'll be good.
Just hear the crowd.
Yeah, it's a big ball, and he's right to take his time. This is a very important shot. Losing 3 here would not be clever. although it's only indicating 1. There might be more than that. Oh, he dropped away, needed to drop in front of that ball. Can't just be 1 shot, it has to be more, surely. Never up, never in. I think actually he had the weight to make it, to be truthful. Kicked him away. I think it might be 3. You have to accept the banter from the experts at the side. Yes, I thought it was 3 shots. That's what's happened. Wayne.
He's in the driving seat, as we say.
Yeah, he certainly is. We say that too. He's definitely in there. A couple of singles. That would nearly be enough.
Yeah, just keep it tight.
Even if he keeps Paul reduced to the single and bats back with another one himself. I always love that saying. We say, if you're not up, you can't win and stuff. But the reality is that any fool can be up.
Yeah.
It's anybody can roll a ball 3, 4, 5 yards behind and say, oh, well, I was up, I give it a chance. The reality is,
he's not doing anything, is he really?
If you're trying to get a shot on dead weight and you fall or get touched, there's nothing you can do about that. But at least you were close and you made the effort. At this level of competition, you're talking about players that play to fractions, really. You're not talking about players that play to yards away. The noise is a gathering.
Yeah, I think you'll find that's Andy Buckley, a former Waterloo winner. He's one of Gary's friends. He's certainly vocal. Good ball.
It's almost like polite applause. As opposed to the whooping and the cheering. I said to Paul, you have to think about the situations you've been in yourself over the past number of years and a different lifetime for me whenever there's sort of 1,300 people baying for your blood. It's played Willie Wood one time, World Singles outdoors, and 5,000 Scots watching the match. One big stand. And we were all vying for a medal, him, myself, David Bryant, and he had to beat me. If I beat him, I was really right in there. He beat me 21-20. I felt like I was walking into the Colosseum. And they were trying to be polite, but I knew exactly where I stood. and that's the sort of thing that players have to face up to.
Yeah.
And whether they win or lose is irrespective. They want to do themselves justice. That's the way it works. And it's Paul's out there fighting away. He's lost the first set. He's behind in the second. He'll have to dig very deep to win this match. And Wayne's giving him a hard time. But even with all the experience that Paul has, there's still stuff to be learned about handling crowds and people. You're not worried about it too much, though. If it was the World Singles and they were baying for his blood, that would be different. That would never happen.
No. Never happen.
Because it's a crown. It's not on the Crown Green area. It's not in the Crown Green crowd. So. Now, Beastie Boy, what can you do about this?
I'm not sure what he can do.
Well, it's
not set up very
to think
inviting,
about taking,
is it?
Yeah, well, is it worth a risk this time? Yes, it is. Damage limitation, is he going to be lucky? Nope. 2 down and a lot more space for Paul to draw another. Is this where the crunch end is going to be?
Yeah. You can't blame him. You know, he was facing 2 down anyway, so it wasn't really a shot on other than the play through.
The alternative was to try and draw a good second, but it wasn't particularly easy either. Now Paul will be putting a lot into this, trying to make that spare shot count. It certainly looks like he's travelling enough. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Back toucher in
Back
that
toucher
position.
in the front toucher, yeah, went back.
You can't go wrong, can you? Gets the 3 back again, puts him right back into the frame.
I think it's vital when gets this next end, just to get that bit of a cushion going into the last 2 ends.
Yeah. Paul scores this end, he's favourite. Even having lost the first set. Interesting match this evening in the pairs. Chris Gale from this club, Andy Cairns and Billy Jackson, Black Green and Danny Barwise. Where's your money on that one?
I wouldn't like to say.
It's a tough one,
it's
isn't
a
it?
tough one.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Yeah. Won't be much between the 2 players, I can tell you that, on the flat green. With Chris and Billy, both just outside the top 16.
I'll stick my neck out and I'll go Chris and Andy.
Okay, I will remember that later.
It's only because Andy's going to be commentating on my game tomorrow, so you know, I've got to say something nice.
There's usually a reason. Billy Jackson now at 23 for this season, but has been a previous world champion and keeps qualifying for different events. Keeps fighting his way back as we see Wayne going walkabout with the first 2 bowls. Chris Gale qualifies for quite a lot of things, hasn't had a run yet, so while I say he's just outside the top 16, he's recognised as one of those players that could potentially come back and come into it. He's a dangerous player. Now been recognised by the outdoor team for England, so he's a dangerous man to play. He's a very good player, Chris, so certainly won't be taking any chances on his home green as well with him.
Yeah, I know he was a bit disappointed the way he played the other day.
This ball on the ball. Oh, that really is
Good
using
shot,
his
Wayne.
strengths there.
Very good striker, Wayne. Yeah, very good.
Didn't mess about. Jack will go on the respot, and there's a lot of room. Or if you're from Liverpool, a lot of room. You know, Fuzzy will draw this. It all depends how close he gets.
It's good. Very good. Very good.
2 balls were marked up there. They must have expected him to draw it. We might play across this on the backhand. Try and second shot is the important bit. Sticking on the forehand. That's going to be hard to beat in the forehand. You're bringing the jack into the green bowl all the time.
Yeah, especially on that line.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. You know, if he'd have played that on the other side, he was driving it away from the green bowl, and he had a shoulder to rest on. So he's got a good second. Just loses the single. 3 and a 1, 6 all. Pressure's on the last 2 ends, both players.
Yeah, just thought Wayne can keep putting the pressure on and keep it tight. Just had a couple of wayward first balls there at that end, and maybe feeling the pressure a little bit, 'cause it's it'd be a fantastic achievement to beat Paul Foster, and he knows that.
Oh.
So that adds a bit more pressure to the occasion.
Don't get us wrong, Paul's beatable. We all know that every player is beatable, no matter what. On the portable rink, he's, it's even harder to beat him because of the speed and he knows it very well. But we play on all different greens and all different speeds. But for a player of his age, Wayne Ditchfield, to beat Paul, that would be massive. He was playing well with the first ball earlier in the game. He needs to get it back again. It's not bad. Paul would really like to score double this end to have a little bit of a cushion. Going into the last end, we can afford to lose a single. One shot's just not enough to be sure.
No, you'll have a slightly different mindset if you got that 2-point cushion. I'm not saying it relaxes you, but it must relax you a bit more if it's only a one.
Yeah, he's close to this. Very close. That's going to drop in for number one.
A great ball again, yeah.
Sitting up just a little bit. No choice for Paul but to draw it. Flat green guys are watching this from the back there as well.
Yeah, Billy Jackson, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's almost, you almost feel like the vultures are there waiting to see what happens to one of their own. Oh, the red ball's going to drop, I think. A good ball, but there it goes.
Yeah,
now who lies? Same ball for Wayne.
Yeah.
No change.
As long as he's on that same line, there's not a lot of danger. Just sit it for two.
To be fair to the flat green guys, they've been there the whole time and watching this match with interest. But you do see it quite often at other events where you have one of the big seeds is just about to be under pressure to go out and they all gather.
Yeah.
It's almost like, give us a chance to pick at the bones of this. He's too heavy, I think.
Yeah, the way he kind of tried to pull it back at the last, he knew, just got his arm
just
back a little bit too much.
The line was good. Big chance he realised that. He wanted to do it with the third ball because if he'd have dropped on it, he was lying two. Paul would have had one ball to save himself, really, because he'd have been under pressure on the last end. Symbol for Paul on the backhand, trying to rest the red one, drop in on the jack for a 2 or 3.
He's
close.
Look
at this.
He's close.
Look at this. Oh, what a ball.
What a ball.
He's made a definite 3, and has he brought the front one in? Oh, that was a fantastic ball from Paul Foster. That might be just enough to save him in this match.
Trouble is the way that's set. If he even strikes at these two, he could take his own out and bring the other one into play. I'm not sure whether he just plays the saver.
There's no guarantees on this one.
No. Wayne can afford to kind of play a saver, go one down.
Yeah.
Then you've hold to play for the last end, but they are pretty close.
Well, he might drive at it. You should say he's very accurate. The front ball's a protector, but he might get it into the jack. This is a horrible choice to make. Draw within 6 inches, knowing that if you're an inch or two wide, you're going to still be 3 down, or drive in the hope of taking something away. Otherwise, you're probably going to lose the set.
I think Wayne might draw. Trust in his ability, and why
Yeah.
not?
Good call. He's actually inside the line. He's
play-
looking for a little runner.
Played a runner,
Now, if he
hasn't
hits that and runs through like
Like
that, he could get the shot.
What a result that is!
Oh.
What a result!
Pick the bones out of that one. I think that might be number 1. They're looking at it. Need to get the chocks in quick. Yep, there you go. You have 30 seconds after the ball stops forward movement.
Wayne just holding his hand up there to apologise. He didn't play for that shot.
Well,
but
he had a short one on, but he hit it solid, and I thought he might just get the run on the solid.
You can see it coming, can't you?
He's indicated 1 down. I just saw him indicating he thinks it's 1 down, but to be truthful with you at this stage, 1 down, even if it's 1 up, he's got a little bit of a buffer.
Well, yeah, he can. Well, the thing is, if like you say, if he draws this next set, well, the next end, if he's 1 down here and then he gets 1 the next set, and which he is, then he's won.
Exactly. See,
he's
that's the idea.
Got the sets up in the first set.
To be fair, he sort of indicated 1 down. I could see
Yeah.
him doing that. He favoured it was against, and the umpire, Alan Thornhill, sorted that out. And William was absolutely right.
So Wayne just needs 1 shot this end
Yep.
to basically have the result of his life. He'll not sleep tonight if he wins. That's for sure.
And the social media will go mad, and the text messages are probably flying in already. Occasionally I got some during the match just to say, what is going on here?
I think somebody said something, put Paul off, not happy.
You get to this stage in the match, you have to sort of...
Yeah, you don't want anyone saying as you're about to send it. And to be fair, that has been pointed out to the crowd. And, when he's on its way, that's fine, but not as you're about to send it.
Yeah, I think they've... 1 or 2 have just haven't realised that. All part of it though. You just have to play through it. I think he's going round to match Paul. It's a missed chance. Really wanted that one within 6 inches.
Surprising when you bring the mat up like Paul has done. It can catch you.
Well, that and the adrenaline of the last end. You have to try and calm it down again and relax and try and get into the flow. Paul still has to win this end, so there's still an element of pressure there. Got that away better.
I think he likes this.
He's a lot more gentle with that one.
I think he likes this.
He's good with this. He needs to come in tight behind it and drop.
It's a goal.
He hasn't dropped, but it's good.
Basically, 2 balls to save the match.
Big swing of Paul's balls now coming in just over it. He's going to have 1 ball to win it. I think if I was Wayne, I'd be playing this on the forehand. I don't like leaving anything for Paul Foster. You really don't, especially on his backhand, because he's very accurate with it. But
Would it not be worth trying to put a blocker maybe?
yeah, the only danger is you can still kill it. But just looking at and thinking, well, if he draws up to this and gives an extra shoulder, he'll just drive it out. He has got the last ball. Whereas in the forehand, if he drops onto the jack, he's giving Paul absolutely nothing to play. That's the problem with the backhand, is you're just likely to give a shoulder, just trying to drop it short, and all you're doing is offering up a bigger target. Yeah, he's thinking like a flat green player doing this. He really is. They're playing that in fourth. Doesn't want to cover ball though, he needs to draw it close.
It's a bit wide.
Yeah. I think his weight's pretty good. Yeah, played it too wide. The weight would have been good actually. Just try and draw this. Not messing about, getting on with it. I think he's very close. I think he's very close indeed. Oh, what a ball. What a ball. Now, I think it's in. I was waiting to see if it dropped away, but Wayne will know. Paul is bringing the ball down to see.
Wayne done?
Yep, must have asked the question, and players at this level don't tell lies. They know. And very sportsmanlike for Paul Foster just to accept that as what it was, and typical of Paul as a player. But what a performance by Wayne Ditchfield, and he will be absolutely ecstatic to get over the line in this one.
Yeah, delighted for him. Delighted. He deserves that. Played very, very well.
I think he played very well. He played the match like a flat green player, didn't play it like a crown green because of his experience.
Yeah.
But he was up against it with Paul Foster, and as a young man of 23, that is going to be the biggest match of his life, no doubt about that. But it's Wayne Ditchfield that gets through the match against Paul Foster. We'll see him in the next round. But tonight, 7 o'clock, Chris Gale, Andy Cairns, Billy Jackson, Danny Barwise. Join us then for a cracking pairs game.